Hello! Welcome to episode 23 of the G52 podcast. It is Christmas, December 2017.
It is.
I'm already on my second rum, actually. We just recorded a little YouTube intro.
I thought you were going to break into song then as well.
Hello!
We need some bells. I'll put some audio on.
I've got a bell, but it doesn't make much ringing noise. So we're back. 2 shows in like 3 weeks.
I know.
Fucking hell, you know.
Anyone think it was Christmas and we had to get it in?
Yeah, and it was like trying to ram it in and force it in to get another one. And that's just my usual Christmas Eve, but... Anyway, enough of that.
Trying to thumb in a soft show.
Oh, it's like thumbing a Frankfurter through a letterbox. That's done. That's done. I'm done. I'm done for Christmas.
I don't think Faye's going to be too happy when she described her as a letterbox.
Oh no! Just a hot dog down at a door. Fucking hell, I'm not going to finish that sentence before I get in trouble. Yeah, we're back with the Christmas special, so it's going to be a little bit different to the normal crap we throw out. We'll have a brief sort of intro.
We could be asked.
See what we can be asked to do. See how much sense I can talk before I'm shit-faced. I got told today up at Warhammer World, the show has lost some charm since I didn't get shit-faced on rum every time we recorded, so I'm going to get shit-faced on rum. So
and you've not even brought your roller cola.
Haven't even brought... I brought roller lemonade. 5 lemonade. It's literally like less than £1 in Aldi. It's fucking brilliant. Smash that out. We're going to have a bit of a roundup of the year. Thought we'd have a chat about the things we've enjoyed, the things that maybe we haven't enjoyed in the Heresy. Stu managed to throw out some social media posts, and we've got all your feedback on.
So that's basically the show. It means we don't have to do
we don't have to do fuck all because you've done it. You know,
it's worked before.
We're taking the Space Management Guns approach, isn't it? Just let everybody else do the hard work.
To be fair, we've done it before. We've done it
works
really well.
Yeah, it's fucking easy, isn't it?
You have to write any notes or anything.
And Stu's just opened 2 massive bags of kettle chips, and I just want to eat them now. And I've just got one out to start eating and realised that if I eat it, we can hear it.
We've had a mostly mastication show, so we'll have to try and be
yeah. We can't have the mostly masturbation show, so.
Well, the table's high enough. No one won't be able to see what you do. Oh dear, I don't need sound effects.
Anyway, should we roll into some crap then? So what have you been up to lately then, Stu? Since more than the last week? 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's about 2 weeks, isn't it, since what have we done? I tried to get some turning away from the microphone while trying to chew quietly. It's very fair, you've done quite well. What have I done? I've tried to get some stuff finished for the game I didn't play today. That didn't really work out too well. So I was rushing to get my Castellax and Engine Seer and their servitors done, but I got the Castellax finished and then gave up on the rest when I realised I wasn't going to make it today. So we're supposed to be... you actually went and played it in your big game at Warhammer World with Pete and Dave and
Jamie.
Jamie, oh sorry.
The whole point was Jamie's moving to Seattle.
Oh right. Well, I wasn't in from the beginning. Yeah, I was a fill-in because you couldn't get a third Ultramarines player.
Do you know what? We were having this conversation the other day, and actually, you don't see a lot of Ultramarines players out there at events.
This is a shame, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they're fucking brilliant. They're so cheesy. But it's an odd one. Like, you usually see 2 or 3 Iron Warriors players. There are legions you'll see more of.
Yeah. You've seen loads of Iron Warriors, don't you? I've just finished a Fire Raptor for commission with Iron Warriors. You do see a lot of Iron Warriors.
Yeah. I know whether it's maybe just that they haven't been around a huge... I mean, it's been nearly 2 years since Book 5 came out. It's not a massively popular legion. I
think a lot of people decide not to do it because they don't like the whole 40k Smurfs kind of hangover from it.
Yeah. I think we try to get abused about constantly.
When I was looking at legions, I think I automatically just thought, no, I won't do those because of that. And if you look at them in isolation, it's fine.
I think the Imperium Secundus storyline and stuff that they have developed has given them a lot more depth.
I think it's fine.
They were just the poster boys and they turned up at the end of the Heresy. They didn't have it. It was other than Calth, there was nothing really about them in the Heresy, and now we've got the greatest treachery outside of the War Master.
We've got the why they weren't a Terran, haven't we? So
it's interesting. There's some good stuff in there that's been sorted out. So yeah. Anyway, that's what you totally hijacked what you've been up to.
No, well, that was pretty much it. To be honest with you, I think that's all I did. I only finished painting the 2 Castellax, and that's partly to help Sam as well, which I mentioned on the last podcast. It was quite funny. Remember, I was unsure whether I was out in his project or not.
Yeah, you said that you were just totally out at him.
So, well, I did and I didn't. He uploaded the video announcing it, and it kind of uploaded about 2 hours before the podcast went out. So if the podcast had gone out a day early, I would have outed him beforehand, but it was purely
what you're saying is you got
accidents.
really fucking lucky.
I got really fucking lucky, yeah. But no, he's doing really well with them, actually. You've seen he's been posting pictures of and stuff, and he's coming along quite well with them, so I'm looking forward to seeing him finish him off now.
He just needed some better advice about masking, not to do it the hard way.
It's perfectly the fine way. Perfectly fine. No, it was the way the lessons were set up, actually, because he wanted to learn metals first, and it was about doing the whole body with metals. But that's all I've really done. I've been painting 40k Death Guard, which has actually been quite fun, actually, though I keep stabbing myself with the bloody spikes on them.
Spikes on everywhere.
Bloody plastic spikes. So yeah, it's all been about the Death Guard and doing some 30k Death Guard as well.
Yeah, I'm staring at Plastic Morty over the desk, and he sat there.
It's a beautiful model, but you can't really paint it in sub-assemblies because of the way they go together these days. And it's just impossible to hold the fucking thing when you're painting it. So you're holding stuff, and then you're holding these really wobbly kind of like loose chains and stuff. It's really, really hard to
without snapping things.
Yeah, it's really difficult to get. I love GW modern 3D sculpts. I love the way they look. But fucking hell, they don't go together in a way that you can sub-assemble.
They're designed to snap into each other, so you get a really good fit.
Yeah,
but they all overlap, don't they?
No wonder they sell that bloody butt plug paint handle, because their models are designed to be glued to their bases and painted like that, which is not the way I like to paint, really, unfortunately. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. What else I've been doing? I've been playing around with some list ideas and stuff, but I won't go into that now because that'll be something for the new year. Some edits to my Sons of Horus ideas and stuff. Yeah. But other than that, that's been my hobby. Yeah,
the quick 10-minute drop in and drop stuff over to you turned into like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
An hour and a half discussion on
I won't go into it now because I've already talked about the Sons of Horus, and I won't go into it until I start the army.
Yeah.
Just in case I change what I'm going to do. As people have already heard me talk about a Blood Angels army, which I didn't do. So I don't want to make the show me talking about armies I haven't started. I'm only not starting because I really haven't got time to do my own hobby. But that'll be something for the new year, hopefully. But yeah, other than that, I've just been working lots, and that's why I couldn't go to the game today, because I lost a couple of days work. It's really boring, but I lost a couple of days work to house buying stuff. So since we last recorded, the house I was buying, I'm not buying anymore, and I'm buying another one.
How many lounges has this one got?
Oh, it's the same. It's the same.
Do you know what was pointed out to me today, though?
What was that?
Pete's got 2 lounges.
Yeah, I'm sure he
2 lounges and 4 bathrooms.
Yeah, of course he has. I've seen it. Well, he's put a picture of his house up, and that's clearly quite a big detached house, isn't it? Well, he's an architect. He's not gonna be living in a 2-bed.
I don't know.
Terrace,
I don't know. The way he rolls dice, he doesn't deserve to be living in a nice house. The only 6 he rolled all day was for War of Lies. But yeah, so I guess that rolls nicely into what I've been doing.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I've had shit all hobby progress. I'm having a real hobby butterfly problem at the moment. Work has gone mental because it's the run up to Christmas, and I can't sit down to focus on a long task. So painting all the metallics in on 20 hoplites is just not happening at the moment. You're moving that mic away from your mouth so you can't be doing it. This is really bad visual jokes, but Stuart's got the microphone held away, pointing away because he can't resist the kettle chips. But yeah, so I've been flitting in and out of painting a bit of Necromunda, painting bits of Mechanicum.
Mine's still sitting on sprue in the box.
I know.
I've read the first 30 pages of the first book, so I've read the fluff. That's it.
Yeah. I'll have to to be honest, it'll probably be easier if I build and paint my Escher and bring them round for you to play. But we'll get a game in at some point. It's fucking good. It does play well. I've got 0 time for games at the moment. So yeah, I've done bugger all. I've done lots of little bits, but nothing of any significance. Not really finished anything. But I did sneak up to Warhammer World today. We decided to send Jamie Jackson off with style. So Jamie from At the Route, he's off to Seattle. He's moving to Seattle tomorrow. So Sunday now. He moves on Monday.
Privateer Press, wrong gaming company. What's he doing there?
5-tier breasts.
Privateer Press.
I thought you said 5-tier breasts, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Fucking hell!
Wow!
Wow! That's it though. That's the name of my gaming company. So I had 5-tier breasts. I really wonder what the fuck you are on about then.
You're not into abs. You prefer 5-tier breasts.
5 tiers of breasts, fucking all the way down. And this 3-titted thing from Total Recall with 5 fucking layers like a wedding cake. Do you reckon they'd be big down here and get smaller as they go up?
Oh, if you're into that, Christmas tree. Yeah.
Christmas tree tits. So we got Jamie Jackson some Christmas tree tits, and so we it was originally going to be me, Dave Gordon, and we roped you in as well, against Sam from Empress Path, Pete from Uplander, and Jamie. Basically, there was a lot of shit talking that the Wolves really needed to come down to Ultramar and tell Gilliman off for creating the biggest heresy outside of the War Master, giving up on the Emperor straight away and declaring independence, So we've been planning this for a few months too, haven't we?
You were planning for ages, and then you couldn't get a third Ultramarines player. So you tagged in some eggshell blue soda.
Sorry, they were blue enough. They'll do. Those blue enough. So Sam screwed up his weekends off getting cover from work because he can't tell the difference between Saturday and Sunday. And then you decided that buying a house and providing for your family was more important than toy soldiers. So it ended up just being the 4 of us. But it was good fun. We went up there. So we had 3k each, so 6k aside. We got the big table at Warhammer with the big bridge and decided to just use 2 of the 3 sort of 6x4s of it because obviously it's been a bit stretched out. So we had the bridge in one section. And the Ultramarines kicked 7 barrels of shit out of the Wolves.
Really? Good.
It was pretty tough, to be fair. The Wolves, they had to come at a gun line,
They didn't have any vets, did they? Outflanking vets.
They did. They had some outflanking vets. I think they did. We had 40.
Really?
We had 40 of them.
There's no way Pete had outflanking
Did they have
vets.
vets?
That he'd have had
No, he had Grey Slayers that were outflanking because they took Harville, Red Blade, sent him in 3 units out. That's where they got the outflank from. But we managed to surprise the Wolves by doing what they weren't expecting, which was drive a Land Raider and a Spartan straight up the fucking middle of the table into their lines before they even moved. And then we got quite lucky, managed to immobilise Russ's Spartan turn 1 with a lucky Venator shot, so
slowed him down a bit.
It stopped him, and then did the same with the Death Sworn's Land Raider. Stopped. So we stopped there, big where they should be pushing up at us. We stopped there and controlled the charge. So my Terminators leapt out their Land Raider and ate the Spartan.
Yeah,
they probably then got ate by Russ and his boyfriends, but it meant Gilliman got out unopposed and charged as he did. But fucking Russ is a beast. So we ran into the combat. I mean, I took the full Dick squad, the Suzerain, the Forge Lord, the Chaplain, the Apothecary, the Primarch. And you've seen what that does. It doesn't stop for many things. Ran into Grey Slayers, a Forge Lord, a Praetor, and Russ. We took their squad out pretty much, but I lost most of mine in return, which is unusual. He got a lot of AP2, which is good because it forces me onto the back foot, and we ended up it whittled down over 4 turns to Russ versus Gilliman, and I tell you what, that fucking base-to-base contact rule is shit. So Gilliman normally keeps up because he's in a challenge, his weapon skill goes up. First 2 rounds of combat, I shouldn't have been hitting Russ. It was only because Jamie was like, "Nah, it's bullshit. You can hit on 6s." Until the 3rd round of combat, when my weapon skill got to 9, 10, I couldn't actually hit Russ. And so, for a Primarch who is pretty good in combat,
it's a bit silly now.
It's pretty bullshit. Russ is a monster, and he should be fucking good, but not being able to hit at all. Because he's weapon skill 9 base, so even if you take away that rule, most Primarchs are going to be hitting them on 4s, which is still pretty fucking strong for most Primarchs. And, Gilliman's going to take 3 rounds of combat to get up to hit him, and Horus is going to hit him on 4s as well.
Yeah.
So it's going to be pretty tough for most.
It's like any rules mechanic. Yeah. It's when it affects, not only are they good, but then it stops the other person playing or taking part. And it's one of those rule mechanics that does that a little bit.
We've talked about the D weapon thing, haven't we? Yeah. The 6... No choice, off it goes. Yeah. It's the inability to interact with it that's a pain. But I mean, Jamie was good about it. I mean, I gave him so much shit the whole way through the game. All of them so much shit, and they let me get away with it. But it was good. It
sounds like he did the right thing with it. And that's
you can hit on 6. I mean, Gilliman with 6 attacks, hitting on 6s. He's only getting 1 hit. I managed, I think, I chipped 2 wounds off Russ, and Russ to be fair, it came down to the re-roll on Gilliman's save. The one of phase kept him in. He finished turn 6 with 1 wound left. So all I wanted from Gilliman and the squad was to hold Russ in place for the game.
Yeah.
Because if he'd have got loose, he'd have eaten everything and anything in his way. So Gilliman did what he needed to do to hold him up. But yeah, Russ is a monster. He was an absolute monster. That was good fun. There was so much stuff dying. We turned up and they dropped 3 Spartans on the table. Me and Dave went, oh, fuck. But then I did drop a Typhon on the table as well, which just basically sat in the back, pivoting around, dropping shells. I mean, he did kill 4 of Dave's veterans who were running away, but they were Ultramarines running away. They deserved
3
to die.
Spartans in 6,000 points.
It was nothing.
We've had 2 Spartans in a 3K army is not really. Things have moved on.
You need to go. I would never go to a game without anything to deal with armor 14.
Yeah,
you've got to. I multi-bombed one of them might have bombed one to death with vets. We killed another one with a Typhon and blew Russ's one to pieces. So we killed them. So it was but you see 3 Spartans. There was 3 Spartans and a Land Raider went down. It was like, ooh, fuck. That's tasty. But yeah, like you said, at 6K,
I think there's worse.
We dropped a Spartan, a Land Raider, and a Typhon. So it wasn't exactly unfair. But yeah, it was good fun. I mean, it was what Heresy is. It's 4 beautifully painted armies on an amazing table, running it, and the amount of people coming past. What's that?
Yeah.
Oh, what? It's Heresy. That's Heresy. Yeah, this is Heresy, mate. Massive game, beautiful armies. Everything. I mean, we were looking around, and there was a Gilliman leading Imperial Fists against another Gilliman leading Ultramarines on 40k because narrative, fucking hell, And, I mean, to be fair, I didn't see any awful armies up there, but I saw a lot of I saw a Baneblade that was just painted gold, literally Retributor gold, just someone rattle canned a whole Baneblade, and I was just like, oh, fair enough. But then there were Howling Griffins, the quartered red and yellow, and somebody had painted their Primaris and done a nice job. So for every shit army, there was good armies, but the visual punch of Heresy, everyone was coming past and going, wow. Yeah, wow, that looks good.
That's what a lot of it's about, isn't it?
Yeah, showing off.
Yeah, and if 40k players are, not all of them, but the majority, more 40k players are happy playing that kind of game.
Yeah.
And then fine.
Yeah, fine, wherever it's
go and play that.
Yeah. But, it is rewarding when you see people coming past and people going, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And you're on that big table as well.
Yeah, lovely big table.
Draw some people in.
And lots of laughing and joking and being loud and having fun and beer on the table. So, it was good fun. So that was good. That's mainly what I've been up to then. That's what I've been up to. Cool.
Have you done any hobby?
I've done fuck all.
I thought you'd done something.
I haven't finished anything. I painted those Necromunda bases that I sent you.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. I'm sure.
I keep looking. I keep meaning to do. We've talked a lot of hobby, a lot of plans. I'm making plans. The Mechanicum, I love it. I love the army, but because I'm painting it to such a high standard for me, it's so painfully slow to paint.
Yeah,
and it's just I have to step away from it every now and again. I love the army, and I've got so many good plans for it, but I just have to back away from it because
it's non-power. You've got non-power armor infantry.
Yeah.
And while there's not faces and stuff to do, because that'd be even worse. But you've got in the latest fabric, haven't you? You've got their big coats and stuff, which is
in the latest version of the list. Agamon's in the 2.5k list. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 vehicles plus a knight that I've already painted. Mm-hmm. So in a 2,500 point list, there's 4 tanks. So everything else is infantry. So hoplites or robots. So it's massively infantry heavy.
Yeah.
I mean, at 3k that just gets worse because you then get another Magos, a load more Vorax. It just gets more and more infantry. And while it's going to look stunning, and that's the other thing is because I want it to be stunning, I'm not. Whereas sometimes, like some of the Ultramarines, I've been mashing out infantry. You've done blocked in silver on 5 dudes. You got 5 more to go. You get sloppy.
Yeah.
And so when I'm getting sloppy, instead of just being like, fuck it, it'll be all right, I'll cover it with weathering, I'm stopping with the Mechanicum and now I need to go away and come back. I need to get back into the habit of doing 20 minutes a day. 20 good minutes a day rather than trying to do like 4 hours in an evening because I get sloppy then, and I know all I do is I come back the next day and go, oh shit, you know.
Yeah, it's a
So
pain in the ass.
that's it. Yeah, that's what I've been up to really. Not a lot. So normally we'd go into some listener questions and we've had messages and stuff, but because we want to rabbit on about Christmas crap and get more and more steadily pissed, we've pushed all that back into 24, which we'll record fairly early next year.
Yeah, I've already put it in the show. We've already had a couple of questions about lists and stuff. And
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
already
yeah.
pasted those
So
into the next lot of show notes. So if you're waiting on that, I think I've replied to you.
Yeah, we
you'll
will
know
reply
who
to
you are,
everybody.
but we'll save that for the next show.
Yeah. So I think should we roll? I know it's been quite a short intro. Should we roll into a break? I think we've got a lot to talk about in the next section. So yeah, we'll roll into a break now, guys. We'll catch up with you in a minute.
Geno52 is sponsored by Incom Gaming, the new centre for tabletop wargaming in Gloucestershire. Visit incomgaming.co.uk for great savings on pre-orders and all your hobby needs. We stock many gaming systems and hobby accessories and can ship to anywhere in the UK. Incom Gaming is the only UK stockists of the market-leading gaming mats from GameMat.eu. Visit the store and check out how to turn your tabletop into a battlefield. Incom Gaming is based in the centre of Cheltenham and offers tables and scenery for casual and organised play with a fully licensed bar. Check out our events page for upcoming events where everyone is welcome. Save an additional 10% on Games Workshop Heresy products by using the code GENO52 at the checkout. Visit incomgaming.co.uk and help fight the betrayal. Incom Gaming. Come game, shop, drink. To shop elsewhere is heresy.
Welcome back then, guys. So we are actually in that break. I've managed to drink an entire rum in the last break.
We did go off on one. We talked about lots of stuff that can't be recorded.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, Pete, you got slandered constantly through that. I got in the car, I was about to leave, and I got in the car from where I was. He said, "Still, fucking hell, I gotta get back. Gotta go record tonight. Gotta go and see Stu and record tonight." And he messaged me, and he got out. He got in his car, then got back out, knocked on the window, and he was like, "Are you recording tonight?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You better not slag me off all night." So yeah, he's gonna get slated all night. High points and low points, I think, of the Heresy year. I think is probably how we're going to focus it. So, what's been your highlight of the year then, Stu, for Heresy?
I'm not sure. It's not sure.
Getting your bloody solar painting.
Yeah, I think it's a difficult one because I've not done a lot of gaming. I did the one event. Chewing off Mike again. Definitely, it's very hard to. It's very easy for me to pick Ruination as my highlight of the year. In many ways, it was because I got to go away and do an event, but that's the only event I did. So, I think being involved in the last Tarsus we did was pretty cool as well. Lots of people there. So, I also think for me, something to do with the podcast. Actually, I think when we started, my highlight of the year is when we started recording together in this shed.
Because you get to look in my eyes.
Yeah, definitely. I want you're in touchable range. I don't touch you because you won't let me. But
you can control my amount of drinking.
If I wanted to. But since we got the equipment, and it's made a lot easier to edit and stuff. And I'm it's just not me claiming I'm hard done, but I'm the guy that does the edits on the show and puts it together, which I really enjoy doing. I wouldn't want you to do it, even if you wanted to, he wouldn't let you know. But I really enjoy doing it, and I think for me the highlight is when we got the equipment and we started, because the show changed in my opinion and got a little bit better. So the highlight for me was when we started playing around with the new equipment, and that's not really is it heresy related?
Yeah, it's a heresy podcast.
Yeah, I know, but it's not relating to anything that's happened in the heresy universe.
It's probably your main contact with the hobby, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
In terms of what you do for your hobby, so
I do
you
more,
paint a lot,
more podcasting than I do playing games.
Yeah.
Fortunately,
yeah.
Yes, and I do lots of painting. Not all it's heresy related. Yeah, I've got my solar finished. I'm still adding to it, but I've got a lot done. I've got over 3K painted. I'll be up to probably 4K once I finish these last few little bits.
Yeah.
So that's been nice. Would I call that a highlight? No, because I had a painted Heresy Army last year as well. So it's not a highlight as such. It's something I'd always expect to have a
something you've enjoyed
stuff
this year. But
yeah, and I love Ruination. And if I'd had multiple events, I'd probably pick one of them as a highlight.
Yeah.
Really loved doing running Tarsus. That was really cool, especially how popular it's been getting. There's lots of things. It's very hard to pick on. But in terms of something that's had more of an impact over the whole year rather than just on over a weekend. It's been since we picked our equipment up at the beginning of the summer when we've been recording that way.
It's always been an enjoyable process recording the pod. We wouldn't do it if we didn't enjoy it, but it's definitely the enjoyment is. It's phrases because it's not got more enjoyable. It's a different kind of enjoyment, but when we were recording over Skype, I'm sat upstairs in a room, you're sat in a room, we're chatting. It's actually now much more what we always wanted it to be, which is actually we come over. Like I said, we record a 3-hour show. We're here for 4 or 5 hours because we talk bollocks and chat. And it's you're hearing recorded sections of a long night of sitting and chatting and talking shit about everything, which is really nice actually because when we recorded on Skype, it was a bit more focused on we've got to get this show done. Blah, blah, blah. Because you're not face to face, and how often do you grab something off the desk that you've been painting and showing me something, or we end up rifling through stuff, looking at other things and stuff as well. It's much more like hanging out with your mate and having a drink and a laugh, isn't it?
We had to be a lot more structured and regimented before, and then you would be talking over each other because you couldn't see each other because we didn't put on the video. We never really worked out which.
And you didn't bring me half as many snacks when I was recording at home.
But yeah, I think for me, in terms of the biggest impact on my heresy hobby as a whole and podcasting as part of it has been the recorder equipment. Loads of cool stuff though. I've not been away to many events like you have, but I've been to Warhammer Fest. We went to the open day, and I've slowly started to get to know a few people now. So you've been to lots of events and met people at events. I've met people more than once now, so I've met them at a couple of things, and then, whether it's been Tarsus and then at Ruination and at Warhammer World and things. So, I think this year for me, I've kind of met more people in person more than once and got my own kind of expanded my own heresy friend group rather than just knowing everyone through you sort of thing. But
well, I think what you've had this year is a much more normal amount of events, if you know what I mean. I think you've hit what most people do, maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 events through the year. I've gone a bit Billy bonkers. I said to you at the end of last year, one of the things, my targets for this year was to go to as many events as I could. I went back through my phone and was flicking through while having dinner with the wife, like just refreshing myself what I've done this year, and she went, "You've done something pretty much every month this year." And I look back, well, I think I've done an event nearly every other month. So I reckon I've done 6 events. So Salisbury, Gibraltar, Gods of War, Blood and Glory, Ruination, Tarsus.
Yeah.
I reckon that's it, 6. I don't think I've done any more. Salisbury, Gib.
I thought it was more, but maybe it's not.
6. It's one. Escalation, 7. Yeah. So I've done at least.
Frontier.
30k Frontier, yeah, fucking hell, there's 8. There's 7.
I knew there was more than
8, yeah, 8 events-ish. 8 events in 12 months is pretty fucking good going.
I'm sure there's something.
Considering I did Ruination and then 30k Frontier within a week, but I think is a lot. Which it's not. If you could do it, fucking do it. But I think I've hit Warhammer Fest, the open day, and a weekend gaming. It's probably a more realistic for most people. Like I said, I pushed the limit with my wife a few times this year, sneaking off to events and fitting things in.
Yeah, 8 is a lot. I think I'm trying to think back to before having a child, whether I'd have got to 8. I think with the job I used to have, no. But if you take that out of the equation, I might have done. Yeah. I've listened to a bit of a weird sort of tangent, but I've listened to podcasts for years. Whether it's been Fantasy or War Machine, and the top kind of tournament scene guys who often run these podcasts, they'll be on sort of 1 a month, or take a couple of months out for holidays and stuff, and they're probably looking at 8 or so. So I think you probably hit that kind of peak.
Hit the top end.
Hit that kind of peak of.
I know for one, I won't be doing that many next year.
You want to stay married, don't you? You'd like to stay married.
I don't know. She's a handy income. No, to be fair, she's pretty good with me because she we had this conversation and she said, "Well, what's the football season now? It's probably 20 matches, 10 of which are away. Just in the Premier League." She was like, "If you were a Premier League supporter, you could be 10 weekends in 6 months, following the football." There are blokes that do that quite regularly. So it's not unreasonable what you're doing. A friend of ours, he follows the football, and 6 or 7 away matches a year. Well, it's not even a year, is it? Because it is 6 months, really, isn't it? Because they have the whole of summer off.
Well, they play 38 games, don't they?
38 games or something. So yeah, he will.
So it's 18 away matches.
18 away matches, and he'll get to 10.
36.
I don't know. He'll hit
Good
10.
maths, then, me.
He'll hit 10 in 6 months.
Yeah.
Which is 10 out of 25 weeks. So it is. She's not unreasonable with it. I have to be a bit careful because I do want to stay married, but. For me, I learned a lot about what sort of events I want to hit, as well. Weekend events are fantastic. I love going for the weekend, but it is nice to hit one day. It's like 30k Frontier, there and back again in a day. Is your red wine not up to standard?
No, it's good.
It's good. You took it into the red wine. Let's have a smash. That's about it.
It's quite cheap. It's only
It does look like bull's blood.
It's called bull's blood.
Oh, it is bull's blood. Bull's blood. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. For a £6 bottle of wine, it's quite cheap.
Oh, yeah, I was so shit-faced in France on red wine. So when we went skiing in April, so bear in mind these 8 events I've done, I've fitting them in around family holidays and everything else as well. It's good, that bull's blood.
That's good, isn't it? For a £6 bottle, that's quite good.
Yeah. So we went skiing to France. It's fucking brilliant. We managed to pick up a really good deal on a catered chalet, and it was pretty unusual. We normally do self-catering, so like getting back at like 5 in the afternoon, and there's cake on the table after some young lass has made you breakfast as well, and then she comes in and makes you a 3-course meal in the evening. It's fucking excellent. But you get this like it's probably 1.5 litre jug of wine, and you get a red and a white on the table. Now the rules were that you have as much wine as you can drink during dinner, and at the end of dinner they take the jug away. Well. Our chalet maid was just like, fuck it, she wouldn't bother. I mean, literally was a box of wine, but it was like, like massive box. It wasn't, your little fucking like little knobby one you buy from the supermarket. Not like a goon bag. It was like a fucking massive like sack of wine. It was like a fucking bin liner full of wine. Fucking excellent. So
can't hang that on a washing line.
No, you can't. It'd probably kill somebody spinning it around. So she smashed this jug up, and my wife and my father and mother-in-law, they drink white, and I'm the only one who drinks red. I don't really drink a lot of red, but it was only like the cheap plonk, and it comes in a box. Fucking good.
You didn't drink wine at the beginning of the year.
I did, but it's like very like I'd have a glass with dinner, and that was it. It wasn't a sort of like a drink 1.5 litres every night for 5 nights kind of job like I did. And the thing is, she'd leave it. No one else is drinking it, so I'd go and sit down after dinner in the chairs with like the jug of red wine and only a little tiny glass.
Yeah.
So I'd have like 25 glasses of wine. And I sat there one night, the last night, I was like, so I feel really drunk. My wife turned around, she was like, yes, you've drunk 1.5 litres of wine for a week. It's like, oh fuck yeah, I have, haven't I? I just smashed this whole fucking jug of red wine.
That's exactly what I do every
brilliant.
overseas holiday. In fact, not just overseas holiday, but definitely overseas holidays when it's somewhere sunny, and it's always red wine as well.
Yeah.
End of the night, kid in bed, and Emma falls asleep by 10 o'clock or something, and I sit there, wine, audiobook, book, cheese, sorted. my week in the south of France this year was perfect.
It's sorted. Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll smash that. Anyway, where were we? What are we talking about?
Yeah, Heresy Highlights of the Year has turned into what do you like to do on the evenings on holiday?
Something about skiing and being at like 2,000 metres altitude and makes red wine fucking brilliant. 3 glasses of that and you fall asleep. Oh.
Yeah, I could do that. I prefer the sun. We differ on that. But anyway, so your hobby highlight probably was the events, wasn't it? But...
Yeah. I'm not going to pick out a single event because I've been to lots of different types of event. I definitely learned I don't like tournaments.
Yeah.
It's not my thing. And it's not to say if you like tournaments, you're wrong.
You just like taking tournament lists to
I like smashing the fuck out of everything. I like totally misjudging the tone of an event with my list.
You don't like tournaments because other people bring outpanking sniper vets as well.
Oh, they're fucking horrible. Lazy heresy. # lazy heresy. Trigger some people. Going to events has been one of the best things I've done for a long time. Pushing myself out to events. So, as much as I like to come across as an outgoing and loud idiot, going to an event, like I said, I rocked up to Salisbury. I took the boys from Worcester. I'd only met them once. I went to Gibraltar not knowing anybody and just turning up and meeting people. And I've now, from the events I've been to, I've got good, solid mates, that are really top quality mates that I've met all year, met at events, and people I'd never have met if I hadn't pushed myself to go to an event. And if you're worried about, a lot of people want to go with somebody. It does make travelling costs easier and stuff, but I've really put myself out there. And sometimes it's been a bit, fucking hell, I could really do with not spending all that money to travel away and stuff. But it's been worth it, and actually the costs have gone down now, because I generally know somebody, like I've signed up to go to the Ghoul Star event, the Greetings one, and I'll crash at Tom's again, I've got to see what mural he's put up next. But,
Cars didn't work.
Yeah, cars didn't work.
Be frozen next time.
I'm going to get an Elsa mural. If he hasn't put one up, I'm going to leave him one. Going out and meeting people and getting a crack, it's made life easier for that as well, and the community is great. We are not a big community in the UK or in the world, actually. I was chatting with Jamie earlier, and we were talking about it, and we reckon 5,000 to 10,000 people play Heresy around the world.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah. It's not many.
5,000 to 10,000 across the world. When you compare that, say, I think 40k, they estimated it was about 250,000 people play. So we are a fucking small niche hobby of a niche hobby.
Yeah.
And it's great, actually. It's one of the best things about it, is it's a small hobby, and as a community, we've set the standards, fully painted, narrative, don't be a dick. The attitude and stuff. It's very easy in a small community like that to set the standards. People know Heresy. This is what is expected of you. Heresy, you're not going to go far if you're a dickhead. You're not going to go far if you don't paint stuff. We've set those community standards. People like I Horus and Imperial Truth and Age of Darkness, they've set those standards out there for people, and when you rock up to an event what you're going to turn into. There'll be nicely painted armies. There'll be a narrative to the event, whether it's the full-blown Greetings from the Warp, insane rules, or us producing audio, or all the other things that are going on, or
the video,
whether
30k Frontier,
30k Frontier, or whether it's just we're fighting over this planet, and we've got a vague sort of, we just have a couple of games, but we kind of loyalists versus traitors on this planet. That's great, a one-day event, 3 games. I got a planet, I got a side I'm fighting for. Cool, that's enough, But there is an expectation of there's going to be some narrative, and people are pushing the boat out now. You look at the event packs. 30k Frontier, I think, have raised the bar in terms of production of the video of the event. Yeah. The quality of production. It's top quality, getting more and more people in. Greens from the Warp have really gone to town with the narrative on the scale. Yeah. How big. They did a 50p person event and didn't compromise on the delivery of the narrative. I think was really good. So it's driven the community on, and getting out there and meeting people. Like I said, the Peterborough boys that I've met, the guys from all around the guys who went to Jib, the people in Southampton, all the crew down there, loads of people. The Sons of Heresy guys we'd have never met if we hadn't run Tarsis. And that's the other thing to run it. It's not just going to events; it's been running the events. Tarsis fucking ruined me. It was 6 months of building and painting terrain and planning and doing everything, and 2 days of non-stop work. And I woke up on Monday morning. I left on Sunday evening going, oh, fucking hell, I can't do that again. To waking up on Monday morning, posting a 3-event series for 2018, going, fucking right, when we're getting started then. Yeah. I love it. It's as big a part of my... Running the events is as big a part of my hobby as painting the armies now and playing the game. Because I can force my agenda on people. This is how I like it. This is what I want. This is how I think we should have a good weekend's fun. And I can go to town and get people to enjoy that. And I think people seem to enjoy my events or our events. Yeah. And, it's
fun doing it, isn't it?
It's nice to know.
Scenarios, so the 3 scenarios for February's event were nailed down this week, weren't they?
I wrote those all out.
Fired them over. And I was like,
You checked all my fucking stupid editing and making
well,
sure the
there's a couple
missions.
of minor things, wasn't there? But
Yeah, mission
but
numbers and
There's
stuff.
no mission 2. There's 2
But,
mission number 1s.
yeah.
And little things
There's
like that.
objectives that make no sense in this mission.
Yeah,
but it's
copy and paste errors. But again, it's
Oh.
you know, and it's we're already looking at it. We've already got a
Yeah.
spreadsheet with how many tables worth of terrain
Right,
we've got
right,
and all
right.
these other
Yeah.
stuff. So it's
And
going
it-
on
and
in the
it's-
background all the time,
It's
but it's
getting
fun.
easier because instead of, the mission sheets I use now are there. I just got to change the objectives, change the deployment, tweak them in, throw bits in. It's all laid out now, so that's easy. I've got some. I'm always tootling on with little plans. So I'm hassling Tim this week, and I've got the character development stuff. So I got the character development stuff, and I've sat there chatting with Pete and Jamie and Dave today, and we were talking about the character development stuff. And I said, well, actually, yeah, you get your character development at this task. If you bring your warlord back, he comes back with all his stuff. Keep your character development shape, so you can keep improving your warlord. You can and giving people that reason to okay, at this event we've said no named or unique characters. Well, you get your Praetor fucking tooled up and he's got an extra wound and an extra toughness.
Might help you.
Do I come
full
back
weekend,
to him?
right?
Yeah, the weekend. Do I bring it? Well, I could go to my generic, I'll bring my special character. Or I could bring my Praetor who's got, 5 attacks and an extra fucking, an Archaeotech pistol and all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah, fuck it. And the character development system will carry on.
Come
so
up
you
against
keep...
Russ and you're fucked.
Yeah, or anybody comes up against Russ and you're fucked. But, so so instead of now I have to sit there and think, right, how do I run this event? I've got most of the scoring stuff all sorted. We've tweaked a few of the way Tarsis works from feedback from the last one. So it's tweaking now rather than like, fuck, how do I come up with this whole thing? I mean, Tarsis will end at the end of this year, as in the narrative of Tarsis. We will kill off the planet this year. It will build to a point. Not for any other reason than I'd like to start afresh in 2019 with new ideas, a new story, a new narrative, and that will take a little bit more work because I now just have to write the next phase. And I think you found when we've done stuff, it's all in here. It might not be structured and focused, but I've definitely got the plan of how it all resolves and how it all works. I've known what was going to happen in this event since I ran the first one.
Yeah.
In terms of the pacing and how it got there and how I would fulfill that event. The Centurion rules, that didn't come out till last year, but that's really helped with what I want to do narratively. In 12 months' time, we might have come up with something, or somebody else has come up with something that I can take him on board and, drive it. So the actual event builds and changes how I actually run it, or we run it. But the narrative is in my head. I know what I want and how I want to get to the end of it, And now we're looking at running a Warhound fucking Titan and Knight event because people want to do it. And yeah, let's say the community wants it. So I'm going to, I'll try and figure out a weekend. Maybe might be Christmas next year by the time we get to it. But bring your Titan and have a smash fight,
Could work out well, actually, a bit of a Christmas one.
Christmas do, but
one day, a bit of relaxing.
Yeah. So, for me, it's events, running them, going to them has been a huge thing. And it's focused everything I've done, really. Because, to get to Escalation, to get to the Salisbury event, I needed 2.5k. So I had to get the army finished for that. Escalation, I needed 3k. So I got to get that done. So I got to a 3k point. Oh, no, so I needed there was 2.5k for Jib. So there's a few tweaks for that. Then to 3k for Escalation, so I got a 3k army by that point.
Yeah.
So all the events this year was like, well, I want a slightly different army. I haven't run the same army at any 2 events, so it's been nice. It's been like, right, I paint these units up. I did the Land Raiders, I did the Typhon, I've done some Terminators, bits and pieces to develop the list all year. And now I've got, what did I say? It was 6,977 points.
It's quite a bit.
The only thing that's not painted is the Mastodon. So, I can do 6k of fully painted Ultramarines now. And it's brilliant, but it's not been, fuck, I got to do 6k. It's just been, I need to do another 300 or 400 points. I need to do another 500 points. I need to do another 500 points, And that collection's just spiraled out of control now. So that's kind of focused my hobby into, I want to do this, I want to do that. And it's given me a reason to push. And it's one of the things, like I said, the Mechanicum have been dragging along because all year it's been, well, I can't get the Mechanicum finished for this event, so I'll do another 500 points of Ultramarines, which has pushed the Mechanicum back another month. And because I don't need to paint. I could run 4 or 5 different armies out of the stuff I've got now. So I don't even need to paint anything. I could still run different lists. So the pressure's not there to get the Mechanicum done.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's like...
you want to do it. You've got no reason to do it any quicker than you do it.
Yeah, so it's taking its time because before, like we were chatting earlier, saying that I'm not rushing it because I want it to be... There's stuff with my Ultramarines. I mean, the comment was made today at Warhammer World Bug. I said, you've been painting this force for a little while, haven't you? I said, yeah, 18 months of like development. And he said he could see how things are developed. And what I want with the Mechanicum is a much more unified level of quality with them. I think we've talked about this before. One of the things when I put the Ultramarines out on display, you can see the differences where I've been refining the paint scheme. And it's not a unified quality across it. The top end stuff is good. The bottom end stuff is basic, So I'd like a more even...
It's also mixing colours and things.
Yeah.
When I do armies, and when I do my next army, that's one of the reasons now, and it's partly because I commission paint, but it's one of the reasons I'll batch paint it. So if I've got, I don't know, 10 tanks in the army, I'll probably purchase it all and do them all at the same time to make sure that the shades, the tones, and the fades and everything is all the same. Yes, I'll add stuff to it, but it's a lot easier than over time painting a full tank, finishing it off, and then doing another one and realising, I did that slightly differently.
Which is what I've done
massive
through the
batch
Ultras,
paint. It's not only is it quicker in the long run, it tends to give you a more consistent finish. You weren't able to do that because you didn't know what 6K you wanted.
It was developing and everything, which is fine. Like I said, the Ultramarines are not... I was looking at it today and I'm selling a load of stuff off and stuff, and I looked and I thought, I don't think I'd ever sell that army, because it's not just an army, it's the first time I'd really committed to building a collection. And I think even if they ended up going in a box for a long time, I don't think I could bring myself to sell them, because they're more than just a gaming tool, if you know what I mean. They're a lot of real pride. I mean, I painted Gilliman, and I look at him now and I think, there's a lot of stuff I could have done better on that. But I look at it and think, I remember how fucking terrified I was of painting a Primarch. Everyone says, "Oh, fucking hell, painting a Primarch." It's a massive centerpiece. And there's a lot of stuff that could be better on him, especially if I went at him now. But I'm still pleased with him for the fact I did him.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I wouldn't shift him on because, I could paint a better Gilliman now, but I don't want to because that's the Gilliman I painted.
Have you ever done his display base?
No.
See that?
Because I fucked up because I glued it shut, and he doesn't slide into it.
Oh.
You know when you did Perturabo for that chap and you magnetised it and you built a little bit so he could slide in and out?
Yeah.
I needed to do that, so I've got to cut it all apart and magnetise it, and I just not
pick
got
up
around.
Another one. Pick up another one. Someone will be selling it. Could be someone like you who's just has a.
But the problem is the marble wouldn't match. I would want to do the marble better with the wire wool, so I'd have to redo his base as well.
You could probably mask him off and do his base with him.
Probably,
He's standing on it. I couldn't have a Primarch without doing the display base part of it as well. You slacker. Can't believe you've painted 6K and you haven't
painted the display base. I've done nearly 7,000 points of stuff in 18 months, and it's not worth anything because I haven't painted a display base. Bastard. Yeah, so events to me, man. And if it's one thing I can recommend to get a huge buzz out of your hobby, it's go to an event. And it's money, it's time, it's effort, but you've spent that money. If you've got a 2,500 point army, you've spent time and money on that. You've invested in a fully painted army. Take it out there, show it off, meet people, because you know what? Every hobbyist likes to talk about their army. And every other hobbyist likes to ask you about their army.
Yeah.
Armies on display at lunchtime at an event. It's one of the best bits of an event. Go around and look at people's armies and talk to them about it. And everyone's so passionate about what they've done. And it's great. And you don't need to go there and get leathered like I do at every event. Callum drunk water all weekend. And you don't think you're going to turn up and everyone's going to know everybody and every rule and everything. Half the people I've played at events, I haven't really played many games. I'm still learning it. Yeah, great, fine. I'll play loads of games. I'll teach you. I'm not going to sit there and school you. I'll be saying, I played a couple of people who've been like, it's my first couple of games. I'll be like, look, don't do that because this rule. Why don't you could do this or this, and that would be better. And I won't tell you how to win.
And then you'll go, By the way, these are my outflanking bets.
Bets, yeah. Eat sniper bolter.
Here's my Charybdis. Do you know what's in there?
Do you?
Meat Gilliman.
Surprise!
And the Forge Lord. And the Chaplain. And the Scissoring.
They're going to fucking eat everything. But yeah, no, like everywhere I go, people are happy to teach, to play new people. You'll never get somebody going, well, I don't want to play him, he's not played many games. I want to smash somebody. No,
It doesn't happen at all.
Everybody just wants to play and talk about their armies and have a laugh. So put yourself out there, go to events. There is the UK Horror Heresy events page. There are.
Is it Tom Sargent's just started a thread on there as a pin?
I think it's pinned now.
at the top.
Yeah, of all the events this year, and there is nearly an event a month.
Yeah,
some
more
2
than.
or 3.
More than. The only thing he needs to do is put the date. He's written it all down.
Yeah, you should put the month order. But you can go and find the event from that list, and if you comment on there, most of the people who are running the events are in
that group anyway.
In that group or in that comment feed anyway. So you'll be able to contact the people who are running events.
And there's a lot more events than that. We know that there's a lot of smaller ones out there.
Yeah, these are the bigger ones, if you know what I mean. Or people who are putting them out there a bit more. But it's amazing. Go to an event, and if there is an event in your local area, run one. Honest to God, it's really not hard. Get 3 missions out of the book. Give your planet a silly name. Sell 10 tickets, 5, and put 5 people on each side, and heresy players will sort themselves out mostly. You don't need anything more than a notepad and pen to keep a track of scores, how many victory points each side has won, and you could run a basic event. And most people, if you want an event, guarantee you there's probably 10 people in the area who want an event as well, who would travel and go, oh yeah, great, there's one in my area. I mean, I've traveled, the worst one I've done, I travelled fucking 3 hours on a plane to Gibraltar to play in an event, I've travelled all length and breadth of the country to play events, Who was I talking to earlier? Shit, he's bought my custodes. This is really bad.
Did you sell them all?
No, only the spears. Nobody wants the fucking shields. Not a surprise. Oh, Matt Burney, coming out to Tarsus as well.
Yes.
He bought some custodes off me. They're running an event in Brighton, and he said, would you guys come? I said, if I can make it, yeah, hell yeah, I'll come to Brighton for the weekend for a party, an event. If I can make it, I'll go to events, time and money and everything is always a constriction, but, get out there and go to events. I cannot recommend it enough, because you'll meet, I've been to, 8 events this year. I haven't met any dickheads. I haven't met any dickheads at all. Bar Tom and Pete and the rest of the Peterborough lot, they're all fuckers. No, it's been really good.
You may meet a dickhead. There's always dickheads around.
And
some people,
don't they say
to someone is might not a dickhead to someone else.
Isn't the problem? Don't they say if there's always a dickhead in the room, and if you can't see it, you're the dickhead?
Yeah,
that is a problem. The amount of fucking comments I've had today about phosphex, dropping phosphex at events.
Well,
so yeah, events have just been. I'm going to less events this year coming, not because I don't want to go to events. I want to make more painting courses this year. I'm making a push to do that.
That's what you did. You mentioned it in what you've been up to.
Oh yeah, I went to Andy Wardle, didn't I? Fucking hell, yeah. Yeah, it was all right, wasn't it? He's an okay painter. I mean, he taught me to paint like I never thought I'd ever be able to fucking paint in my life.
You did a really good job.
Fucking blending. And it's just like, it's magic. You're like, here's a load of squiggly shapes and that doesn't work. Glaze.
So Tom.
Fucking
Tom
hell,
went,
it looks fucking brilliant.
Tom went to the
non-metallic
metal paint and
now
indoctrinated metal course at Incom Gaming. So
yeah, it was fucking wicked. So Cult of Paint is Andy Wardle and Henry Steele.
Yep.
They're going to be running events all around the world now. They're going to be at the London GT. I think they're going out to Heresy Camp as well, aren't they, in America?
Yeah, Henry's going out there to do the tank
I think
stuff.
Andy's going as well.
Is he going as well?
I think. I'm not sure.
Henry's definitely going.
Yeah. But Andy's been running non-metallic metals. He did one in Firestorm, he did one at Incom, and that's going to be followed up with a flesh and leather, which sounds really fucking dirty. Flesh and leather. So we got a Black Sun Miniatures Barbarian. We did non-metallic metals on that, and then
sculpt, isn't it?
It's a lovely model. And actually, Andy had his display for competitions this year. So he had his Barbarian and he had his Orc.
I tried to come down, but I
would have
couldn't
been
get away
worth
from the child, and I thought I don't want to drag a 3-year-old round
to
a room with
handle
people
those handle those models and see them in the flesh is.
Yeah, if I could have got an
insane.
hour or so away, I'd have come down just to have a close look at that stuff and have a chat with him when you guys were all painting. But yeah, I didn't really.
And he is now the
hold
acrylic
a 3-year-old
terrorist.
away from massively famous award-winning stuff.
He is the acrylic terrorist. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that was quite a good weekend.
You did do something
Oh,
big.
yeah.
You didn't mention there.
Oh, fuck it.
I know you said you didn't want. You said it was shit. You didn't want
It
to
was
give him a
shit.
shout out
Don't
or
fucking
anything
go.
like
Yeah.
that.
No. I honestly go and get indoctrinated into the cult of pain.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
really good.
very jealous, and it's
Yeah.
the same problem with me for events. I just can't get the weekends. Free.
Yeah,
My
another
wife
full
working
weekend.
Saturdays. I can't get the
Yeah.
weekends.
Well,
free to do it.
you can get the weekends, but it's a compromise as to what you want to do. So
It's like
getting
2
that
or 3 a
weekend
year.
getting that weekend will take out one of your 3
Well,
or 4
couldn't-
maybe that you
I
can
couldn't
get.
have done that one.
Yeah,
at
yeah,
all.
yeah.
We couldn't have done that.
But
one at
you
all.
have to plan
And if I
and-
did the one next year, I probably the first one next year I wouldn't have been able to do the Tarsus. So I wouldn't be there for
Yeah,
the
so
Tarsus.
that's
I
what I
can't
mean.
miss that.
It's a compromise between if I do that, these other ones
Yeah,
disappear.
it's almost
so.
one weekend a quarter kind of stuff. For
Yeah.
me. But anyway, that's enough of my problems.
Sounds all right. But yeah, events were good. So I kind of don't want to do this, but I think we should really talk about low points or least favourite is what I'm going to say. Because I actually sat down and thought, have I had any low points in the Heresy? And bar a few hangovers, I don't think I've had a low. Something I would call something I disliked, but there's been a few. Things that
there's nothing really.
things that
low,
made me
but-
go, ugh. I think one of the things has been, I'm going to steal yours because this is one of your things, but I think we agree on it. A fracturing in the community this year.
Yeah.
So one of the things that appealed big time to me for Heresy was the community, and it is a really, really good community, and it is genuinely a shitload better. But I think with the release of Inferno, the 8th ed, 7th ed stuff, the rulebook not coming out, I think we've had a more fractious year as a community. I think tensions have been running a bit higher because people are opinionated. They love their hobby and they genuinely feel passionate about how it should go and how it should go. And I think there's a few places where previously you could have posted anything you wanted in there and it would have generally been pretty cool. There are a few places now where you think, oh, there seems to be a lot of shit fighting in it. It's got better lately since the rulebook was confirmed. A lot of that has settled down.
I think, yeah, I agree. It was definitely my. If I have a low point, my low point for the year has been the fracture in the Heresy community around the 7th ed, 8th ed split. And now, even though it's resolved in terms of we know what's happening now, there still seems to be a bit of niggle. And it's a shame because when I first sort of got involved in the Heresy community, it seemed like it was the most positive community I've seen. I've been involved in a lot of wargaming communities, and initially it felt like the most positive one around, and now there seems to be this, I don't know, this incessant need to snipe at people that play I don't play 40k, so this is not me coming from a 40k angle. I don't really care in terms of what's going on in that scene, but it seems like we have to snipe at 40k players, and you have to, and then there are a lot of players in the Heresy scene that are 40k players, and that's where the problem arises. And we can sit and snipe at 40k players or other game systems as much as we want, I suppose. It doesn't interest me. I'm not offended by people who do it, but I think we forget sometimes that not every person plays only one system, and so those people get offended, whether they should be offended or not. That's another conversation altogether. But I think that's the only thing that's disappointed me this year, is that because of the things that have happened in the year and the issues around whether we were going 8th ed or 7th ed, that it's still not settled down yet. There's still a little bit more sniping and moaning about rules on the groups, and there was, and on the forums, and there was maybe the year before.
I think some of it is there are people who genuinely really like the way 8th ed plays, who really think it's a really good system.
Yeah.
And they also love the Heresy and wish they could play the armies and the system they like in the way they like.
Yeah.
There's also people who think 8th ed is ridiculous and stupid and are frustrated that anybody would want their treasured hobby and RB2 to play that way. I mean, I haven't played any 8th ed. I will hold my hands up there and say that. What I have played is Necromunda. And I love the blend. So the to wound chart in Necromunda is the same as 8th Ed. If you're the same strength and toughness, it's a 4. If it's 1 better, a 3. If it's double, it's 2. Fuck, is it so much simpler? And it's not, well, no, I'll tell you about it, not simpler, streamlined. It is genuinely streamlined. Rather than, because I mean, most of us know that rule anyway. You know, if it's 1 better, it's 3.
Yeah.
If it's 2 better, it's 2. You know, we all know that, and that's how we learn that table anyway. But just having it presented like that, strength 3, yeah, tough 4, 5. You know, it's so simple. Ballistic skill and weapon skill, hitting on 3, hitting on 4, hitting on 3, brilliant. Works beautifully. I do get the whole, you know, but the modifiers to hit and stuff are great. So Necromunda, you're in cover, right? -1 to hit.
Yeah.
Great, fantastic. No fuck arsing about. No extra dice roll needed. Just a modifier to what I'm doing. I do think there are certain things from 8th that can come over to Heresy that would make it a better game. I think there's a lot of stuff that can fuck right off from 8th Ed. No firing arcs and the being able to shoot any gun from any point is retarded, to be frankly. And I say that from the fact I walked around the 40k tables at Blood and Glory, and I saw so many Imperial Guard armies where all the tanks are just jammed in the corner behind a building, and it looks shite. I mean, that went hand in hand with the fact that so they weren't painted, or they were painted very basically, and the table was very basic. It went hand in hand with that. But for me, that
the rules
stopped
are
my
impacting
immersion.
the visual, aren't they? So I
you know, one of the things we had today, you know, at this big game is, you know, I got Gilliman out of his Dreadclaw to charge us. So the first thing Jamie does is turn all his models to look at him. You know, yeah, it's not his movement phase or any reason to do it, but Russ turned to see Gilliman charge. Because you should look at things, you know. Moving tanks to get firing arcs makes sense.
Yeah, yep.
You know, and it gives a reason for having a turret or a sponson or a hull-mounted weapon. It adds that does genuinely add depth. Having a massively complicated, well, not massively, having a reference table to look up for your wound and hits, that doesn't add depth. That just adds a table to look at.
Yeah.
So for me, there's definitely I fall in that camp, and I generally don't get involved in these kind of conversations online because opinions are like arseholes.
Yeah.
Everybody's got one, and unless my wife's sticking her finger up mine, I'm not interested. So, you know, it just doesn't bother me. But you said one of the things that appealed to me, I was in the 40k community, and the rules lawyering about this and that. I used to listen to a podcast called the Preferred Enemy Podcast. Really, really good podcast. Really nice guys. Genuinely, really one of the reasons I wanted to do podcasting. The first half of every show was rules questions and them going through and referencing 8 or 9 different books to go through it.
Sounds a bit dry.
It was, but at the time when you're a 40k player, that's what it was. I mean, that was 7th Ed and all this other stuff. But that was the focus of the podcast, was gaming, lists and everything. There was not a lot of conversation about hobby and narrative. They never reviewed a book on there. Any of the book releases never got mentioned.
There's nothing wrong with that. All the War Machine podcasts and stuff I used to listen to.
Absolutely, and as you said, that's not me shitting on them. They're a big podcast and they do a great job. They put on a big event. They're really, you know, good 40k community, and they do push painted armies and all that kind of stuff. But it's not their primary focus.
Yeah.
And one of the things that appealed to me for Heresy was, you know, Horus, Age of Darkness, Imperial Truth talked about the books and the lore and the fluff and the painting and the modelling. It was what makes it a hobby rather than a game. If I want to play a game, I've just downloaded Unreal Tournament on my laptop, and I used to play that when I was a kid, and I've worn my battery out 3 times this weekend playing it because I fucking love it. It's an amazing game. I've no idea what the characters are called. I have no idea what the story is. All I know is I'm fucking in a level and I'm going to shoot the shit out of people because it's a brilliant game. I don't want that from my hobby. I want a hobby. I want to paint. I want to build. I want to create. That's what makes it a hobby. If I didn't want those things, I'd be a gamer, a video gamer, because that's much better for me.
Yeah.
You know, I can spend just as much on video games as I do on this hobby. I can spend most of my weekend being called a motherfucker by a 14-year-old online as well. So, you know, it's absolutely fine. It's just the same abuse I get in the Heresy. I just, the rules are important and the gaming's important, but it shouldn't detract from the hobby.
Yeah.
I think, who is it? Somebody posted in the iHorus a while ago, oh, fuck all this rules lawyering. Can we get back to just posting animal attacks and cool models? And let's post cool models. And I thought, yeah, that's what I want. I don't want 7th, 8th ed bitching. I want to see some cool models, I've said if it went 8th, I'd still play it. It's still me.
Well, I think we said it. I mean, I said at the time I was quite happy for it to go 8th. I'm very happy now. I wouldn't pretend I didn't say that at the time. I'm very happy now that it's not. I'm quite happy with what we got coming. But again, I play it first for painting models, second for narrative, and third for the rules. I'll play it whatever. I just wish people would stop feeling the need to snipe at each other. I'm talking about both sides.
It doesn't matter what your opinion
and
is.
Care which side of the camp you're on.
Can we just fucking ignore it and get on?
It is what it is. It's a shame if you prefer one or the other and you want to play the other.
Yeah.
But it's the way it is. So that's the only downside, is that you've seen that little bit of fracture in the community. I mean, we saw there was it was a Reddit AMA. I'm not really a Reddit user, but I know Brendan posted up in our messenger thing the other day about, he posted up the script with James Hewitt was on there talking about his time at GW and specialist games and stuff, and he kind of summed up quite a few things. So he mentioned Plastic Knights is the reason it seems like it's been delayed, because
Plastic Titans.
Yeah, because he's the reason that he's written all the rules for it. Yeah. They were finished and ready when he left GW,
and then they dropped Blood Bowl, realised the specialist game was massive, and decided to go back and do a bigger release with Titans and Plastic.
If you hadn't heard that already, and I think it's been the news, the rumours have been around for a while. It seems like that's he doesn't work there anymore, so it's not official. But it seems like that's the reason why.
The delay to Titanicus is they've now decided to put it into the.
They've not come out officially and said that, but it seems like that they're looking like they're doing.
If they have, it's got to go into the main production schedule. It's got to be I think he said like the retool on a Warlord would take 3 months, to redo the Warlord. So they've they're obviously taking. They're not just going to go, I'll take what we've got and make it plastic. They're going to go, what can we do extra now? There'll be if we're going to have a delay, what more can we do? So I think Titanicus. I'm hoping Titanicus comes out as a box set with a couple of Titans.
I'm sure it will. I'm sure it'll be something they can expand on, and if they use the same model as Blood Bowl and Necromunda or something similar, that would be great. Anyway, so that was one part of it, and the other thing someone did ask the question about whether he knew anything about the 30k going to 8th or 7th. And I don't want to go into this in great detail, but as we're already talking about it, he mentioned that Alan had loads and loads of notes and things planned for 30k to go to 8th. Wasn't say it was official, but he had stuff prepared for it and had some ideas.
He was planning it.
The whole studio, the whole Forge World studio was under pressure from Studio Main to get all of the indexes 40k done.
Yeah, I think they would divert to do everything.
So that was their priority. So even if 30k became 8th, I imagine it would have been really delayed, which is the initial sounds were we will do in the future, but not from launch, which that all looks like it kind of makes sense now. And obviously it was the sad passing of Alan that threw a spanner in all of their plans.
I think the wording was it was put on the back burner to revisit at some other time, but it won't be anytime soon.
Exactly. So it changed. It sounds like that's what changed the plan. And again, I don't want to go into that kind of whole rabbit hole of. Obviously, it was we've not mentioned it as our down point of the year because we're a bit concerned that it sounds a bit cheesy when you're talking about someone passing away from a very serious illness, and we talk about it with our impact. We played with toy soldiers. The biggest impact of that is what it has on his friends and family and things like that. So don't want to get into that too much, but yeah, there's things that have gone on that have affected that this year, and I think we all, as a community, arguing about it seems a little bit kind of silly, really.
Yeah,
we just get on with the things that we like about Heresy, which is painting cool toy soldiers and talking good games and listening to narrative and listening to cool podcasts and
telling Pete he's got too many bathrooms.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He's gonna get so annoyed with me by the end of this.
So I think we should go for a little break now and get back and find out what you guys have all thought about your highs and lows of the year.
Lord Marshal Great, sir. Legion reinforcements now visible on the left flank.
About time. The wolves, I see.
No, sir. Ultramarines, sir.
But they're wearing grey, Proclamator Fennec.
Fox message said new recruit, sir. No time to paint armour.
At least the Raven Guard are in black armour.
Sorry, sir. That's more Ultramarines.
For Emperor's sake, fox them and find out why.
Also new armour, sir. Their eye lenses are red and the bolt guns are silver. 3 colours minimum, sir.
What the? Get on the Vox now and tell them to contact Miniature Realm Studio.
Miniature Realm Studio, sir.
Yes, Fennec. Miniature Realm Studio offers a commission painting service, competitive rates, and a range of painting standards to suit most budgets and requirements.
Yes, sir. I suppose they do say that fully painted is for closers.
What does that even mean, Fennec?
I don't know, sir.
Miniature Realm Studio can be found on Facebook, on Twitter at Miniature Realms, on Instagram at Miniature Realm Studio, or just drop Stuart an email at miniaturerealmstudio@gmail.com.
Right. Well, that might have been 3 minutes for you. I think me and Stu have just got totally sidetracked and drank and talked shit for about an hour without recording anything.
90 minutes.
so yeah, 90 minutes. I think I've gone through about 3 more rums, to be fair, haven't I? So this might get a bit messy.
That bottle of wine is...
That bottle of wine.
gone
You've drunk all the bull's blood.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, you might have to join me on the rum in a bit then. It's going to get really messy.
There's beer. We've got beer as well.
Do you know what? Hey, it's good rum. Vanna Club 7.
It's
That's
fine.
good shit.
It's fine.
That's lovely stuff.
Yeah, you'll be rolling around in bed at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'll be up at 6:30 with a 3-year-old.
It's not fucking. I've got to go to the fucking south side of Bristol tomorrow for a survey.
I think I might walk my 3-year-old to nursery tomorrow. I think it's good to drive him.
Cool. So, what are we doing now? Your shit. So, yeah, we posted. Well, Stu did. We managed to melt my phone earlier because I posted stuff from the game and you posted social media posts, and it ate battery for everything. So we stuck the question out there. We asked, what were your personal highlights and lowlights from the year? So should I start with the Facebook group?
Yeah, let's go easy. Let's go for the Facebook page. There's less on there, isn't it?
So who's rambled incoherently at us and there? So shall I go first?
Go for it.
So Matt Grosner, worst part is we can lock you guys in the Moth Dungeon so you can release weekly shows of Awesomeness and bullshit and bad idea. Worst part is we can. So would it be the worst thing for us to release it weekly? Or does he mean the worst part that we can't be locked in?
Let's go positive. Let's say he wants to hear more of us weekly.
Why would you want to hear more of this? It's fucking rubbish.
It is rubbish. And if we've been recording for the last 90 minutes...
No, you couldn't have published that because the fucking slanderous stuff I was talking. I mean, stuff I said about Pete.
Yeah, I know. And he asked you not to as well.
I know, exactly. He didn't like it when I slipped that finger in.
No, I know. Well, he's got 4 toilets to wash it off in.
Oh, it's going to be so paranoid. I'm going to get so many messages. So best part is Heresy sticking with 7th 30k rules. We kind of covered that earlier. I don't think we need to go through that. And then he has put a worst part. Forge World email every Friday with only Lord of the Rings stuff. I think for me, actually, it's been more the fact that it's been custodes all year. And I know they've been pushing the release out, but they could have put some more stuff out. It could have interspersed the custo stuff, even if it had been just some upgrade packs and stuff. It was custos or nothing for a long time.
I imagine it's got a lot to do with the way they work.
They wanted to get an army out.
I think it's not just that. I think it's got a lot to do with the way they work. They put the team focusing on certain things, and things aren't ready. You look at other game systems out there, and you'll get kind of splash releases. So 1 month is one faction, 1 month is the next. And it takes a lot of time to change that round, doesn't it? For them to go to a system where you'll get one legion and then another legion and another legion. It's not, the game's not really set up like that. The black book's not set up like that.
I just think it's not so much.
It has felt a bit flat.
It's because it's been all year. I mean, since February, since the book came out, there's been a few sisters bits. What have we had for legions?
Well, next to
the
nothing,
tanks, the Sakaran tanks, and a few upgrade bits. I know they've been pushing the custos out and they want to get stuff out, but it just would have been nice to have had a few more bits.
I wouldn't disagree. I'm not sure there's anything they can do that would change it, to be honest with you.
Cool. So Jack?
Yeah,
Jack
so
Outridge?
Jack's high point is snagging a ticket to Tarsus 4. Well, and getting the impetus to start painting his Death Garden. He's done a really nice job.
He's fucking
as
painted
well.
a model.
So he's finally painted a model. He's
Only,
done a really good job
only
of it as well.
30 more odd to go, Jack. Get your fucking paintbrush out.
No, he's done. To be fair to him, he's done an awesome job.
Yeah, he's fucking lovely,
and
to be
he's
fair.
He's done a great job on his base as well. The base sounds a bit really condescending, but it's actually really
No,
cool
no,
base.
it's really, like, genuinely really, really good.
And he's probably got just about enough days to do the same standard on everything to get it ready in
As long
time.
as he gets going. Get going, mate. You're going to have to get going.
Yeah, I couldn't paint the way he is when you do. I don't know if it's just his test guy and he's now going
I
to
think
batch
he's just
paint
done
or
a
not.
test model rather than one at a time.
But it looks great, and then they all look like that, and I'm sure they will. Let's face it, the guy's a perfectionist when it comes to his sculpting and converting and building.
I can't imagine being sloppy painting.
I can't imagine he's now going to produce a load of.
He just needs to settle on a method and go, because I think he's doing a lot of experimentation at the
That's how you
moment.
learn. That's how you do it.
Yeah, but there's a point where you got to go, okay, let's stop fiddling now. That's good. Let's go.
I think he's learned that from that one. I imagine
yeah.
the rest will all be the same till they match. But
because you can fiddle forever, and you know, just sort of tie yourself in circles, going round in circles, can't you?
You can fiddle away all you want.
Fiddling away.
Low point, endless stream of lazy converters using Mark 10 power armor in Heresy. Seriously, triggering. To be fair, Jack, I've not seen any of that.
I've seen quite a bit.
I'm deliberately not in too many Facebook groups.
A lot of Alpha Legion. I think a lot of Alpha Legion. I'll retort. Johnny used some of the Chaplain bits in his Terminator Chaplain army.
Yeah.
Especially the heads and stuff.
Terminator Chaplain army.
So you know the Terminator Primus model.
Yeah.
He used, I think, the heads and some other little bits off it for his two chaplains in Tartarus armor.
Oh,
for
sorry,
his blood
you said Terminator Chaplain army. I was thinking, what the fuck's a Terminator Chaplain army?
Fucking Terminator Chaplain army with
That's a lot of black.
I can't remember which way. It's Warden
yeah.
Steel. And
I love that Primaris Chaplain.
so he's used some. I think there are definitely bits you can use off there. I think the longer bolt rifles make. Somebody was talking about using one for for Seekers, for like a sniper rifle or Exodus. I think there are bits that can be done.
Bits wise are amazing.
But I think
the heads with the bald heads and masks. What are the
Reavers?
The Reaver guys. Yeah.
But I do
really
think,
nice.
I do get, just slapping an Alpha Legion shoulder pad on a
Yeah,
Primaris Marine and going.
I'm probably not in the groups that's seen that kind of stuff because I'm not in it at all.
I've seen Jack being triggered on there as well, to be fair. I've seen him ranting and raving at people. So, cool. What do you want to do next? Should we do Instagram or should we do the Facebook?
Let's go
group?
Instagram because I think there's more on Facebook, isn't there?
Oh, fuck me. Look who turns up first on the Instagram. Bloody Angel Exterminatus. I wonder what he's whacking on about. Tom. So Tom says, best parts, awesome community events, Gibraltar, Gods of War, and some small shit event in Cheltenham. Yeah, it was fucking rubbish, wasn't it? Yeah, definitely getting out and being part of the community makes the hobby, it really rounds the hobby off, getting out and meeting people. Worst points, custodes at their current power level. Yeah, I think custodes can be dealt with. I think when someone like Tom who plays Emperor's Children, he's played a lot of fucking custodes this year and taken some boundings from them. And I can see, I guess it's almost, I have similar sort of opinion. It's not the same power level, like World Eaters. I've played so many World Eaters this year, which are a massive, two or three massive blobs of inducti running forward with Garland, Surlac, and Angron and some butchers in a Spartan or a Charybdis.
Yeah.
It's the same game over and over
So
again.
they're already up in your grill and your outflanking vets just don't do anything.
Yeah, they can't snipe or anything. So, but it's one-dimensional gaming, and it's the same with custodes. You know you're going to get your ass handed to you. So maybe not the power levels. I think it's maybe just the fact that it probably feels playing the same game over and over again. You know. Who's next then? Jody.
Says the community this year has been awesome. Rise in narrative events. I know Jodie's sort of newer to the heresy scene, and if you listen to episode 2 of the
Unremembered Heresy,
I nearly forgot the name. Wasn't it?
It's fucking unremembered, isn't it?
He's on there with Sam and Callum talking about events, and I think they're all talking about being new to.
I think it's their first year they've hit events this year, really, isn't it?
I think more as X40K players realising how cool Heresy events are compared to 40K events. And there's a really good sort of chat about
the difference in the vibe and the feel.
It's really nice. So anyway, let's finish reading his comment. So So the rising narrative events really helped us do that, and it doesn't look like it's slowing down for 2018. Worst bit being smashed hard in my first game, the Legion of Peterborough. That's Tonka, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I've not met Tonka, but
I've not met Tonka, but I've heard a reputation. Apparently, I need to take my sniper vets up against him. So no, I'm looking forward to meeting Tonka at Tarsus. He's got some lovely looking army and stuff.
That was his joke anyway. So on a serious note, though, the worst bit is no red book has been promised, and they're not saying anything about till 8:45 on the day of release. They knew before then. So yeah,
I think they knew before then, but maybe the decision wasn't made. I think they knew how much of a shitter it would be delaying it, because it would go. And I imagine there was probably some late night conversations on, can we release it and not, or what can we do, and can we get new ones? Because I think they knew it'd be a 3 month delay if they put it back. It's going to be a couple of.
We talked about it last episode, didn't we, about how much swearing must have gone on, and we finally got this. Let's go for it. Oh, fuck,
it's a big call, especially after they've been on Warhammer TV, on the live TV. Q&As, bigging it up. The sales push was in full work. They were trying to reinvigorate the heresy, or not reinvigorate. Get the heresy ball rolling again.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, the books are ruined. Oh fuck, what are we gonna do? Can we do this to the community? Oh, what's the backlash going to be? And I guess the decision was: is the backlash going to be worse delaying the book than putting out a substandard book?
Yeah.
So I imagine that was a hard decision.
One
to make.
thing I will say now is though, there's the odd rumour that we won't see it till Weekender. That would be.
It would depend.
Poor form.
It would depend on the print schedule. If the book's not going to arrive till mid-January, you might as well hold it.
Why?
If the book's
why hold it when it's delayed for people?
Because 2 weeks and have it because they got nothing else to drop at the Weekender.
Well, that'll be different. Yeah, anyway,
put it up for pre-order. Put it up for pre-order the week before the Weekender. Go on general sale the week of the Weekender.
Exactly. If people were getting
and
it
you
at
can
the same
pick it up.
time,
You can pick it up from the Weekender.
That would be fine. But I think if people ended up waiting longer for it, that would
but you
be
need
poor.
that buzz. You need what have they got at the Weekender? There's normally a black book.
We don't know, do we?
Yeah, I think
I don't want to get at them.
The thing is, if it's arriving this week, which actually they did say pre-Christmas,
the rumours were end of year.
It would have to arrive this week to go on sale this weekend, pre-order this weekend. They were I think they were what I'd heard, I think it was from Callum, was they think it might go up for sale by Christmas, but not in time for Christmas.
Before Christmas, but by the end, but hopefully by the end of the year. So that means just after Christmas.
But a 2 more week delay.
That's more
why
than
not
2 weeks.
Yeah, but if you so
that's nearly another 2
months.
Say
it's coming in the last week of the year.
Yeah.
Hold it on for 3 more weeks. Release it the Weekender.
It's not 3 weeks to the Weekender from New Year, is it, though, Tom?
4 weeks.
It's like 5-6 weeks after that.
No, that's the first weekend of Fab.
Yeah, it's
4
sort of
weeks.
5 weeks.
4 weeks in January. Because it's a 5-week pay month. Because I get paid before Christmas. There's a week before then. It's 4 weeks.
I would think that would be a little bit longing it out to make it. If they were going
to trying to have a sensible conversation here.
Yeah, if they were going to make it.
I don't know. It'll depend, but we're not going to see it anytime. I think the latest we will see it is a Weekender. I won't go any longer.
Unless something's gone wrong again, definitely. So next one, Emperor's Path. Sam, you go for it.
Oh yeah, should probably high points. Convincing myself to use an airbrush.
On
definitely.
His hair. Great.
Yeah. Fuck me, he's got a hell of a fade. Do you think that's what make the women go between their legs?
It's a Schofield look, isn't it?
It's a Schofield look. He's got the silver fox look.
Callum's the hollow willow booby.
Hollow willow booby.
Anyone outside the UK have not got a clue what we're talking about.
Go and have a look at Hollow Willow Booby. If you can spell it off that, you're doing fucking well. Yeah, Schofield got airbrushing, and the low point was not getting to more events. Yeah, Sam, you slacker. Get out there.
Terrible.
Yeah, terrible.
I'll get myself loads of events.
You only run a YouTube channel, put on an event, went out to Gibraltar. You've done nothing this year, you fucking slacker. 8 events minimum. If you want to be a part of the community and have a voice and opinion,
and
8
he's on
events
call
minimum.
At weekends as well,
Yeah, well, that's fucking shit. So yeah, no, Sam. Get to as many events as you can. But like I said, we chatted earlier. Like, I have done a ridiculous amount of events this year, and 1 or 2 events a year, I think, is probably a realistic for most people.
Yeah.
It depends really. Like I said, if you've got an event like Gods or something like that, just run in your area fairly regularly, you'll probably get to more. If you like me, where you generally have to travel to an event. Getting to as many. I mean, to be fair, what have we got signed up for? I've signed up for Gods, and I've signed up for not Gods, Ghoul Stars, and I've signed up for. Where are we going? Durham. Company Legends. So we've got 2
Not
events.
far that.
A fucking 4.5 hour drive. Guess which
I'm glad
bastard.
you're doing it.
Yeah, guess which bastard's driving that.
You'd be dead if I did it. Let's move on anyway, so we've got a few of these to get through. Never mind the Pollux. So hi, starting in the hobby after 20 years off. So
Good, yeah,
definitely low painting for a year, not having a game yet. To be fair, mate, I've been there myself. It's when you first get back into gaming, it takes you a while to find yourself a new group and find yourself a new area and stuff. So
where are you then? Never mind the Pollux.
Doesn't say on his
Get
Instagram.
yourself in our Geno group. Post in there. Say where you are. There's 360 odd people in there. Somebody might be nearby, or somebody might know somebody nearby.
Or join one of the bigger groups. And,
get in the Eye of Horus. So just dudes looking for dudes. So you never know. There's probably somebody down the road who's thinking exactly the same. Oh, I wish I knew somebody in my area. I mean, we'd never had a conversation until 18 months ago, and it was literally, I think I posted in the group and said,
the old
Pork Chop, I'm doing Heresy, anybody else playing? A 2-day conversation in the comments.
Yeah.
And then turned into a Facebook chat, and now I sit in your garden and drunk. So you never know, like I said, who's round the corner. I mean, you are 10 minutes from where I live. So,
exactly.
Do a dudes looking for dudes. That's what it's there for. Oh, bloody hell. Chris Gibson's written a bloody essay, as always.
He's written it twice as well. He put it in Facebook. He wants us to read about it. He's so desperate to be read out.
You're only getting bloody one read. So, Chris Gibson, The Unbroken Chain. 2017 has been a great year for my Heresy in an odd way. Well, yeah, you had to put up with me, so that's usually pretty odd. He started off by going to a small-scale event in Oxford. Yeah, great. And then... I like this because I totally sympathise with this sentiment. Since then, I dread to think how many miles I've put in and how much I've spent on fuel and hotel rooms. Fuck me, yeah. My wife put it this way. She said, "What you've spent on events this year, you could have taken me away for a nice city break." And I went, "Yeah, but I've had far more fun."
Loads of city breaks, surely.
Yeah, quite a few. Well, she's got quite a high standard. I've just stayed in a 5-star hotel. when I went out to Abu Dhabi, I went out with the boys racing.
Oh, you made a posh girl with a horse, didn't you? That's what it was. She was 5-star all the time.
Well, no, because there's the thing.
She won't do a weekend in Prague on 3-star, will she?
So we're going to stay in this hotel. So it's all paid for by the guys organising the race meeting. So, I mean, it's fairly... I wasn't expecting much. So, like, we're putting the race on in London. They booked into the Travel Lodge next door to London City Airport, so I was like, that's kind of what I was expecting, It's in Abu Dhabi, it's a 5-star hotel, it's been open 3 months, the Bab Al Khazar. Fuck me. Anyway, I get into the hotel room, it's fucking beautiful.
Like a curry house.
Yeah, it just sounds like I got views over the Emirate Palace, the royal family in Abu Dhabi. I said, fuck me, this is pretty posh. Go in the toilet. There's a fucking big glass window in the bathroom, and it's an internal window. So when you go out, you can slide this big wooden panel back. I mean, it's like floor to ceiling wooden panel. Slide it back. You've got probably about a 7-foot wide window. You can sit on the shitter and look at the Emirate Palace out the window having a shit. It was fucking brilliant. Anyway, I've got used to living like that, and the wife's now like, well, you've been to Abu Dhabi, you've been to all these fucking Heresy events, and I've been nowhere. Get a better hobby, love. So anyway, yeah.
How far can you ride?
Fucking horses. So anyway, getting out there, and he said connecting and becoming part of the UK Heresy scene has been a big highlight, and that is the best thing. I mean, my wife gets so annoyed at Facebook Messenger because the messages are going bing, bing, bing. Chatting to people, connect with people you meet at events. People like Collister and Tom and Jamie and Dave and Pete, people we just met from being around, we chat to all the time, Sam and Callum and the boys from the Dragon and Mars podcast, chat to people all the time, and suddenly your hobby, when you're sat in your room painting your model, you're not sat in your room by yourself, you're connected to the scene, and you post a model and you post a picture and you get nothing but fucking abuse back from everybody because they're calling you a whacker. It makes the hobby more enjoyable because those times when you're sat there slaving through 20 infantry, you can be chatting to people and and making that slog a bit easier. Worst part from Mr. Gibson, the tragic loss of Alan. I can't see that. The uncertainty of what's going to happen to 30k with it going 8th. Well, it was a downer when we didn't know. I think we're fairly set on where we're going now, at least for a long time. And as it was getting rolling again, the rulebook was getting exciting. Having it pushed back has slowed it down a bit, hadn't it? The kind of the momentum's dead again, and that's kind of slow. But I think there's a core of Heresy players who will always play Heresy and have kept you see the same faces popping up in places and people keeping the scene going.
I don't think it's going to get any worse now. That's
No,
for sure. I think it'll settle down, and I imagine there'll be a bit of niggling around. There'll be some people that love the new format weekend, and some people that don't like it. There'll be a bit of niggling, but I think it will just slowly get better and grow next year, and then by the time we get to hopefully this time next year, and
we'll have a good momentum.
And the new Black Book's out, and I think it will be fine. I think it will
maybe
really
even a new box set at the end of next year.
Be a Titanicus one probably, I imagine.
Titanicus could come out as a separate release. We get another box set, Salt Marines, jet bikes, plastic Sicarian.
I'd put a lot of money on not that.
Well, I've definitely heard there's going to be a plastic Sicarian and plastic jet bikes.
Start rumours.
Start
your own rumours.
Salt Marines, breaches, everything.
Have a captive audience. Start your own rumours.
If it gets people turgid again, it'll do. Who's next up then?
So you have an essay, which you added an essay to. And I get a 2-liner, which is
good. Go for it.
I like this. So, Frostfiend, best playing in my first event, worst struggling to get a game. I think we've covered some of the struggling to get the game stuff already. If you get in the group, if you're not in our Facebook group, get in the Facebook group and try and arrange a game. If it's not a club, people will travel and have a game and stuff. I'm not offering to come and play you. I don't even know who you are, where you live, but I struggle to go away at weekends and play events and stuff, but I have loads of evenings free and stuff. It's one of those things. Sometimes it's about, you not got a club near you. There'll be people that are available to sort of come and have a game.
I play at Incom far more than I play anywhere else. On a Tuesday night. We've got Incom on a Tuesday and Thursday night. Chris comes down quite regularly. Ali came down and met Sam there the other day. You can use, there are venues. The Legion of Peterborough. Meet halfway somewhere.
Yeah,
post in a group saying, we
not so I wouldn't play you, by the way. It's not really rude, isn't it? I'm
not fucking playing you. Fuck you.
Whoever it is. No, it's but definitely people have different kind of flexibilities
and post in the group. Find people. People who play games.
You will find a game if you want. This, especially if you're in the UK. There's
the bullshit and not bullshit and not travelling.
So many people playing Heresy around the area. It's not.
I drove 3 hours today to play at Nottingham and back, and it was nothing. Hour and a half.
3 hours.
Hour and a half there.
You drove past Nottingham.
Hour and a half there, an hour and a half back. You prick.
You got to Leeds. You went, fuck.
I fucking missed it. Do you know what? Every time I go to Warhammer World, the sat nav takes me in a different way, and I get fucking lost every time. I've been there so many times. I got fucking lost again trying to find it. It takes me through that shitty industrial estate a different way every time. And the problem is, it's not like, I normally turn left there, but it's saying go straight. It's like I turn up, completely different fucking industrial estate, completely different. I'm gonna fucking.
For me, it always looks familiar. It always feels like I've done this way before. But I also feel like that
you
way.
You sweep round. So you come on off the M1 and you sweep round that bridge to the left, and you come on the dual carriageway, and there's like 8 places to get off, and I'm always like, it's that one. Get off there. No, that's completely fucking different. They've changed the fucking road layout. How the fuck am I going to get there now? I drove around for like 20 minutes going in a circle, and I found a fucking Maserati garage. I was like, the fuck did a Maserati garage come from? It's a shithole estate in fucking Nottingham.
Just stop until you know the right way. It's like entering the mines of Moria, isn't it?
Just sniff.
Wait for ages and then go, this is the right.
You sniff in Nottingham and you won't smell fucking Moria. You'll smell some fucking Maureen. Dave Warden's then, because the rest is just shit talking for a bit. So Dave Warden's, powerful Dave Warden's. His highlight was fully closing his first army. That is a good feeling. He is a clear baser though.
Is he?
Is he closed? Is he closed? I did say online, though, I have stated online, if his iron hands weren't quite so fucking beautiful, it wouldn't count.
Like I said before, clear bases are fine. We've still got to put black rims on them.
Yeah, we've got black rim your clear bases, Dave. We're realising a less hobby time next year. I mean, that is a fucker, but you got your army done. I mean, it's amazing. If you get an army done, you don't need as much hobby time once you've cleared that. Like I've said earlier with my Ultramarines, you get to that 2.5, 3k point, it's adding bits then. Unless you want to start fresh again, you can get away with... You don't have to put quite so much hobby time in. I mean, I forget this year I built 5 tables.
Yeah.
Just throw that in there.
It's loads of aspects.
It's amazing. So, do you want to cover bad hobby credentials?
Bad credentials. So, best CMO performance, Snap, a head kick at Bob Gilliman after I can't remember. After charging him, I was trying to open a bottle of wine at the same time. I should probably concentrate on it. After charging him for close combat and proceeding to take 3 wounds off the Milkman. Is Milkman? Is that a official Bob
I don't know.
Gilliman,
I've never been
nickname, the Milkman?
I've never been leveled with the Milkman, except for the fact I look like the Milkman.
The Milkman are quite rare these days, aren't they?
My mum said I look like the Milkman, but
is he well known for waking people up rattling bowls at 3 o'clock in the morning? Worst, the effect of the fuckery for 7th Ed and the change to 8th Ed in the core game causing a split in the community for now. It's been a good year for Heresy though. Book 7's new factions and a lot of heavy lifting from the podcast has helped the game grow, and I'm excited to see what happens in 2018. Thanks, boys. So yeah, I think we've covered a little bit before haven't we, about it. I agree with the fuckery around the 2 rules editions. Stop arguing and just play whatever game you prefer.
I think definitely. I know Tim and Michael have been really pushing, making the most out of 7th Ed, running campaigns. We have got a fuckload of resources.
Yeah.
And it's not... With podcasts, we don't have... We're no better than anyone else near. We happen to sit down and record the crap that most hobbyists talk about, but definitely pushing on, like I said, we got plans to try and push the narrative next year and keep stuff going. And eating crisp while recording.
Yeah.
Fucking addicted to them. Yeah. Excellent. Schism
20?
Schism 20. Come in, Schism 20, your time is up. Getting his fully painted word bearers up to about 4,500 points. That's fucking epic. It's when you point it up and you realise you have a problem. Like I did the other day.
So easy to get to that now, especially when you buy stuff based
I've
on
been
the top
saying
2, 5,
I've
3
been
grand.
saying to people for ages, 4.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 4.5, 4.5. No, 7,000 points. Oh, fucking hell. And worse, not being able to find a second Legion that you can stick with. Now, that was interesting. I read that earlier. I can't see me painting another Legion because I love the Ultramarines. And nothing has that for me. Do you need a second Legion? If there's not one that grabs you by the balls, why not just have a 10,000 point army?
Or just build theme armies as a second. So you go for a big Legion where you keep collecting, collecting.
Build a different style of
then
army
you'll
for
say,
that
right,
Legion.
I'm really interested in, I don't know, you pick something from your favourite Black Library book, pick a Right of War that matches it, and
build the army out.
Build a 2.5 list or 3k list that matches that, and that's it. Stop there.
Yeah.
And do something else.
Well, see, it's all like...
Or build allied detachments to play with that Legion as a way of changing it up.
I was looking at the drop assault vanguard, because I was like, I can do loads of assault marines, loads of Lokatara storm squads, and just make a fucking massive ultramarines jump pack army. So you can take that and just go nuts with that, Or look at a different faction. Go Mechanicum, go Militia.
Yeah.
Go humans.
Yeah, like I was saying, you can do the allied detachment bit. You don't have to go full ball with. You don't have to match what you've already built. I think.
No, you must have 25k of different Legion. Oh shit, bed.
So when you go into your own group and you can't find the post.
I got it. So let's go to the Facebook group.
There you go. So now.
So Tabletop James. Worst part, still no rule book. Yeah, that's pretty bull crap.
Yeah.
We had this great fucking... So, playing this game today, and there's all kinds of fucking rules accusations being thrown around, all kinds of shit. I multi-bombed, and Jamie said, "It's not in the fucking rule book." I said, "It is." I said, "No, it's Tony's in there." About half an hour later, we were talking about something else, and he went, "Oh, it's not in the rule book." I said, "Go and get me a 7th Ed rule book then, and show me." And he was like, "What?" I was like, "Find a 7th Ed rulebook in Warhammer World and show me where I'm wrong." So there was no fucking rulebook for... We were literally playing a game where you couldn't buy the rulebook for it in Warhammer World.
Yeah.
Which is pretty nuts, to be fair.
It is.
We got rulebook.
Which is why they've done what they've done, isn't it?
Which is pretty bonkers, but cool. you want to take the next one?
So Sam Brokenshore, so runner of the Ruination event, came to Tarsus with us. So best parts Tarsus and Ruination, by which I mean I had fun at my own event, not that it was better than anyone else's. Worst Illusion and the subsequent feeling and that Horus Heresy has lost traction somewhat. Hopefully they unveil some coolness at the weekend and put that to bed.
Yeah, could do with a few cool bits to get everyone a bit more turgid again.
And he's put runner-up best thing every time a Custodes dickhead character with a shield dies. I think there'll be many people that would agree with you.
Hey, actually, we were talking about this, so I was talking about this earlier, saying, like, I'm not too worried about Custodes too much. I think the scene just needs to adapt to the fact they're there. And we were chatting around, so what would you do? And I was like, well, Iron Fire, Iron Warriors. No scattering, large blast, strength 10 AP1s. Put the fucking shit into them. Because the no scattering stops the area strikes. Because they don't scatter. You don't roll to scatter.
Well, there's loads of
so
one-off solutions, aren't there?
We just need to adapt more plasma guns. You know, a couple of plasma gun squads. You know, will still do damage. So, yeah, I think it's just a case of like lists need to evolve a bit. I'm not saying Custodes are fine. I'm not. I do genuinely think there is some issues with it.
I think where your issues is where list changes.
Yeah.
Then leave you in a worse position against the rest of the field.
Yeah.
I think meta changing is fine if a change in meta means that the list you produce is generally good enough against most of the things you play against.
But that's the thing. See,
but then again, if you have flexible lists for events or you know, again, if you're just playing with your mates, it doesn't matter. Change your list. Make sure speak before your game. Talk about the list you've got. Make sure that you've got lists that will produce a good, enjoyable game between the two of you that lasts 3 hours. And get past turn 4. Otherwise, if you're playing a relaxed narrative game and you've not done that, then you've probably missed a trick.
Yeah, it's like we talked about in we chatted about narrative gaming and stuff. You know, about the heresy. The underpinning thing is everyone just kind of wants to play a laid back, chilled out game. You know, and not be a dick smasher, but. I mean, we played the game today pretty fiercely. You know, it was pretty.
That was the point of the game, though.
It was some big stuff, and it was having but we had a laugh. You know, it was pretty.
And there was enough points on the table that something could do a lot, but there was still a lot.
But the same with Tom, and me and Tom play. We play pretty harsh. You know, we play tough to beat each other, but fairly. You know, there's no dickery. You know, if one of us says something and we check a rule. And we do we got it wrong. You know, there's never any bullshit about it, but we play quite tough against each other. You know, there's no kind of there's no punches pulled at all. You know, and we played pretty tough today. You know, had a good laugh and stuff. So, but it's the underpinning kind of none of us are dickheads. Like Jamie, you know, Gilliman, he could have quite rightly said Gilliman can't hit Russ. It's a 7 to hit, you can't hit him. But he went, nah, it's bullshit. It's 6s. You know, you can still hit on a fucking 6. You know, so it's that kind of thing, and Custodes, it's just one of those things. People are going to go, I can run my 3-up rerollable Invo Shield Captain. I can run my 12 jet bikes and table on my opponent in 1 turn. And now people are going to start getting to the point where they're going, well, actually, that wasn't really any fun to do, was it? Oh, fuck it, I'll drop that. You know, I got 3 quad mortars sat in the cabinet at home. I can't remember the last time they came out of the cabinet to play a game, you know.
Because vets to play them.
I know, I can't lose any vets. Hey, let's face it, the amount of games they've played this fucking year, they deserve to be vets. So, you know, like, the novelty goes. I got the 3 quad mortars, I had the master signals, fucking BS5 Thunder Shells, 12 of the, ruined that tank. Oh, right, well, done that. It wasn't that interesting, was it? This unit looks more interesting. Fuck it, bung them in and have a go with them. So I think people will kind of naturally move on
I've
from
this will be the year that they roll over everyone, and then the first 6 months of next year, people start to slow down a little bit, and then people stop playing them.
Yeah,
I think you'll see people move on to other things. Especially when the new Black Book comes out, people will move on to other things.
They're quite a one-dimensional army as well. Yeah, they do one thing and do it quite well.
Hopefully we'll see more of them as allies, which is maybe.
Cool.
So, Christopher Carr.
I thought you were doing it.
No. I was just passing him over to you.
Don't fucking stare at me while I'm eating Chris.
Just pass Christopher Carr over to you.
I don't want him.
You don't want him?
No, I'll give him a kiss and a cuddle later. Worst part for him was no rulebook. Yeah, I think we covered that. Best part, building an Alfarius model I'm happy with and taking him to the greetings event and killing Valdor twice with him. Fucking brilliant. Because Alfarius is shite.
Yeah, much cheering. Yeah, and very nice. It's a picture there as well.
Yeah,
very
lovely,
nice
lovely
model.
model. Yeah, very, very nice. So, yeah, no, there is something about, again, yes, you want an Alfarius model, but there's I'm one of these people who said there shouldn't be a model for every unit or character.
Yeah.
Some of the joy of Heresy, especially over the previous years, is making your own.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't models for everything. And, I mean, even before Heresy started officially, people were kit bashing Mark 2s and 3s out of their plastic kits. There's a certain amount, I think, with Heresy especially, of we like to kick bash the crap out of stuff. We like to build our own. Build your own Primarch. Yeah, it looks fucking great, you know? Yeah.
I think the problem with I agree. I think the only Primarch you can build properly would be Alfarius. I think the issue you got is scale a little bit with Primarchs.
Trying to get the parts.
It's quite hard to get the parts to do it. Anything else, I think it's fair game. I do feel
I think
it's difficult to
Primarch's
build other things, but Alfarius is the easiest of the Primarchs that have not been made to build.
I mean, that's just basically pepper in that bag now, isn't it?
The crisps were gone ages ago. I don't know what you're doing.
I'm licking pepper out of a bag.
So you were rolling up a £20 anyway. Dan Collister.
£20.5.
Best greetings to the Warp events were a worthy and enjoyable contribution to Heresy 2017.
It's a shame about Marlowe, isn't it?
Well, but he does look young for his age, really.
I know, but he is
take the piss early in the years.
drawing his pension soon.
I know.
It's all right. He doesn't listen to podcasts.
But 55, I know. It's just you wouldn't believe it. Gods of War and War of Gods, brilliant days. Got me to paint loads of stuff and generally made me turgid for Heresy. Plus, I got to have a kick-ass game against the beautiful Tom.
Yes, we did have a cuddle and a good smash-up. I'm going to see him again in...
He's linked you in there.
Yeah.
I think he
got the wrong Tom.
He's clearly linked the wrong Tom in there, hasn't he?
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to giving Collister a cuddle again when I go up there in April, May? Whenever the Ghoul Stars is. May.
Was he I'm guessing he was drunk. Beautiful.
Yeah. Leathered. Absolutely fucking smashed.
Worse, the passing of Alan and the delay of both the new rulebook and Angelius and the filthy Phosphex Tom was dropping in July.
I'm gonna.
So you're beautiful, but you drop Phosphex.
I'm gonna publicly apologise.
So he's into scat.
I basically shat myself at a couple of events this year where it smelled like I did because fuck, my guts were bad.
Well.
But yeah, actually the best one was playing Joe, confusing him by making a World Eaters player not go straight forward. And he gets so angry when you fart at the table. Joe gets so cross when you get fart. I kept dropping these horrific Phosphex bombs right by him. And he was getting confused and angry. And he looked more and more like Angron as the game went on. At one point, he had his knuckles on the table going... That's one of my highlights of the year.
Probably should try putting his hands over his mouth if you're at the table with him. But
I am going to try and work on my Phosphex, but fuck man, my guts hurt after a drink. That's a sign of old age. My guts are so bad when I drink now. Honestly, tomorrow I will be walking around site and people will be dying.
Luckily, I work by myself.
Yeah,
in here.
I'm just going to drop one before I leave. Right, who's next? Adam Kirby Jones.
Deepest, darkest Suffolk.
Suffolk? I thought he was an Essex boy.
No, he uses the Colchester Gaming Club.
Oh, yeah. He's a fake Essex boy.
Yeah, he lives in Ipswich.
So his best bits for starting the podcast. So yeah, go check out Legions of Lies. They might get a show out every now and again. Sometimes
they're doing all right.
They're doing all right. I think they've hit that point where I think we hit a little while. It's quite a lot of work churning a podcast out quite regularly, but
they've just
they're
getting
it.
I think
they're up to 4 or 5 now. So go and check them out. It sounds fun. Oh, this is fun. Like I said, I mean we've been at this for what 4 or 5 hours now. Fucking 4 or 5 hours. It does take a bit of time to record, and they're good, and it's getting there. Hopefully they'll carry on because Ali's a nice guy, Keith's a great guy, and so's Adam. But finally getting a fully painted army, yeah, should have happened a long time ago. Yeah, get it out. Coming to Ruination, meeting everyone. You can tell I've had a few drinks.
I had one of the best games against Adam at Ruination.
Yeah, he's just top. To be fair, you know how much I like you, but the more I take the piss. Killing Valdor with Tubby Turbo, yeah, that's always good. Taking Valdor down. His worst parts, losing Alan, yeah, and the slowdown in Heresy. 8th edition, he's clearly not a fan. Some of the 40k migration over, bringing some whack attitude. But I actually think a lot of them have come over. If they've stuck it, you can't stick at Heresy without softening that attitude. Because if you come over with a really whack heavy attitude, people you won't enjoy it.
No.
So I do think people tend to come over. If they stick with Heresy, they will soften.
Very, very politically read there.
Politically red there.
Well, he's put the migration of certain 40k players, the whack faggots, to Heresy.
Yeah. All right, I was trying not to be a cunt for once.
He said it, not you. No, I'm with you. I understand. I think there may be. I don't think there's a big migration of that. I think
people have come
those
over.
kind of personalities will be those kind of personalities where whatever system they play.
I don't think
it's necessarily a migration from one system or another. In fact, I know of people, which I won't mention, that have come from other game systems that would fill that resume, so to speak. So I think it's just Heresy is really fucking different. It's the only system out of all the game systems out there that really focuses on narratives.
It really
so if you
pushes
come from
away
another
from
game
competition.
system, it's very hard to get your head around a community that focuses so much on hobby and story-driven games.
Yeah, I mean, I'm bad for it. I got the fucking stealth filth. You know, I don't know which
there's no stealth in it anymore. Everyone's fully aware of the filth of your
ridiculous shit I bring.
So next one, Michael John. So best parts: Act of Heresy, Adepticon, MKA, finishing off my White Scars, and also painting 3.5k of points of Ultramarines. Oh, here we go. Here's another one.
Yeah, but the best thing about Michael
It's a shame
John's
he
army,
wasn't Australia, because he could have come over and played with you today.
do you know that? Well, actually, he wouldn't have lasted because he's got 3.5k of Ultramarines, but it's all infantry and dreads.
Yeah, well,
A
he's
fucking massed armour fight that happened today. It was an absolute shit fight of Armour 14.
Worst, still too many unpainted models. Well, if you're painting that much infantry, you're not going to get your tanks painted.
Yeah.
The Heresy train has no brakes. Now, to be fair to him, he's
Michael John's Ultramarines are
beautiful stuff.
And not just like they're beautiful painted, some amazing conversions and just subtle mods to stuff that make them really unique. And I mean, if you ever run out of unpainted models, you're not doing it right. I mean, I'm still sat here staring at your fucking army that's been on that shelf for you.
They're still on the fucking
They're still on the fucking sprue.
Bag. Yeah, it's going to be a while.
Nathan, then?
Yep, you're reading that
I'm
off.
having a drink. All right, I'm getting on it. Fucking hell, Dad. So Nathan says on a
You just looked at the length of this message. You went, nah, fuck it. You can read that one.
I had to take a drink and fucking get ready for it. Running your own heresy. He's running his own heresy event in June. Yeah, fucking brilliant. I love running it. And they're running a campaign off the back of it. That's great. And then pushing on for 2018. They're getting his 3,500 point army ready and based for open war. I was. Chugging up Chris.
You're doing well.
Chris.
You spat Chris. Well, yeah, you're doing really well. You've managed to make rather by not reading.
I was trying to shorten it, and I've made it fucking twice as long.
You should have just read it. Yeah.
I'm fucking useless. Yeah. So getting his open war army ready. That was Oz, wasn't it? The other week in Oz, open war. Seeing Thousand Sons and Space Wolves getting rules that fit him for their legions. You know, Thousand Sons whack as fuck. Space Wolves, well, not as whack as the Ultramarines, really. We learned that today. Worst points were the Custos rules being a clusterfuck and off the power scale. Yeah, I think they've taken a lot more adjusting than every. We were talking about this earlier, actually. The armies in Book 7 all work together as an ecosystem.
Yeah.
And you've got to remember, Forge World produces campaign books. Those armies design. I'm not saying they don't think about it in the outside world, but their focus is these armies in this setting.
Yeah,
and this army
and then
list to
GW
reflect,
puts on Horus Heresy events and weekenders at Warhammer World, running those books as a rule. So
it doesn't really work. And then the passing of Alan as well, which was a huge one. Oh, you can take Killer's message, Em.
Having played Tom twice. That was it.
I did have to ask him if that was best or worse, and he did say.
Sam's put runner-up, the worst moment, Killer's heavy bolters being Perma AP2 or what. I'm guessing he played him at Tarsus.
I fucker rolled 5s and 6s on his bolters for the first 3 rounds of our game in Southampton, then rolled 1 round of AP1 and shredded the entire suzerain unit. fucking cunting things. Yeah, and he did say both games are brilliant, but getting smashed by Bobby G and his harem is pretty tense.
If you don't know Glenn and you meet him at an event, just ask him about Dark Angel's victory points rules.
yeah, ask him about the Legion
Make
rules.
sure you got a spare 15-20 minutes.
And ready yourself for some anger.
Give him a cuddle after his pat his head.
But you will also never meet a funnier bloke
No,
who
he's
turns up
lovely
late
guy.
to an event and says, "I'm really sorry I'm late. I couldn't find my shovel."
And he might shout out about licking inner thighs at dinner.
I love you, Glenn. You're my favourite. Mr. Rothbotham says, Steve, best part, it's 30k. Yeah, I think I'll dabble in some other game systems and dabble in other stuff, but nothing's got me by the balls like 30k has, you know. Worst part, 8th Ed killing off the local heresy buzz that was steadily building and losing out. Yeah, I think it's reacted differently in different communities. Some people have found 8th Ed has killed it. Some people have found 8th Ed has actually pushed the community on. You know, so
I imagine if you're in an area where you had a strong 40k community where a few people were playing heresy, then 8th would have had a really big impact.
Yeah.
Whereas you're in an area where there's a very strong independent 30k community anyway, heresy wouldn't have had such an impact.
Yep.
So who are we next? Ben Gregory. Best part, Throne of Skulls was my first heresy event. Ouch. And having some awesome weekends.
The Throne of Skulls, I suppose, were by all accounts pretty good. It was the narrative Sigilite event that was the fucking appalling one, apparently.
Yeah,
this year.
I think it depends what your expectations. Like any event, what your expectations are going in.
Tempted to do a Throne of Skulls this year, to go and see it, because
I love Warhammer World. I'd like to
I put my money where my mouth is all the time, talking about how I think events should be run. And I say I don't like tournaments and stuff. And I'm just, should I put my money where my... Problem is for me...
I think you might have a list for it.
I've probably
might have a list for it.
I might have a list for it.
Might have a
And a
list
shitty attitude for it. But I'm wondering... if one comes up and I'm not doing anything and it's... Problem is, it's a lot of money.
Quite a lot of money.
It's a lot of money for. I'll go and see what it's like when I know. Generally, for the price that I can go to 2 events in the community that I will enjoy.
How much are they? How much?
50, 60, 70 quid.
I almost think you could get, rather than going to one
Plus
of those
the
events,
hotel,
you
yeah.
could buy a hotel in Nottingham, a cheap one. You go travel lodge in Nottingham, and just play at Warhammer World for 2 days.
Yeah.
For about the same money. Anyway, and his worst part was still realising his Alpha Legion are a bit shit.
You'll get there, Ben. You'll get there. Skip Gibson then, because he has to place it in twice because he's a show off. So Sam Shaw, best part, Blood and Glory. Yeah, I enjoyed Blood and Glory. I thoroughly enjoyed it, even if it was just for getting all the heresy armies on display and showing off the 40k and Sigma. And worst, still no Space Wolf kits. I have a feeling the first half of next year, or at least the first quarter, is going to be Space Wolfy.
But looking at what might be coming, you might still be disappointed.
Yeah, banana hammocks. Pete was quite vocal about the banana hammocks earlier today.
I like the sculpt on the face of the guy that's in the centre of the 5.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
my picture? I think it's really good.
But out of unit of 5 that are probably going to cost 50 quid,
But
to like one face out of that, is
the
that...
face is awesome.
But is that really good enough for that?
The bananas, not so much.
Bananas in pyjamas.
So I like bananas, but they give me suggestion. No, it's not really. Not really. Anyway, Paul Mulder.
Yes, you got this one.
He's from. He's in Holland, isn't he? 2017.
I was about to do an accent then, and I stopped myself.
Don't. No. 7.1 instead of 8th, so I'm guessing it's the plus.
Yeah.
Organising a heresy
What's why you
narrative
put a
event.
plus next to it?
Well, we could just be. You might not have to use there. Like,
Are you saying Johnny Foreigner doesn't know how to use a keyboard?
no, I wasn't saying that at all.
I just did.
Organising a heresy narrative event in the Netherlands, which led to more people starting.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, see, he's put that as a separate point. I would say that was a addendum to the first one. The 30k points aside battle for foul game at Warhammer World road trip to Nottingham with my heresy brother Phil Hogarth. And then the negatives: Alan's passing, rulebook pushback, ever-growing backlog of heresy minis, not enough money to add to more of the backlog pile. And then he's put some plans for 2018, so organising more chapters into the Gurash Wars narrative event, finish up 20k points of Imperial Fist, bloody hell. There's more. I've got to hit plus C more.
Yeah, keep going.
Finish my word bearers. Start my militia, bribe either Stu or Tom, possibly both, to make sure I get a July Tarsus ticket. It's only sexual favours, I'm afraid, Paul.
And I'm not easy to please.
He's 5 around the back of the
And a bag of chips.
So
I've gone up in price.
You are quite easy to please.
Yeah, definitely getting an event running, getting people
I've given
to
you
it.
2 bags of kettle chips.
Yeah,
What am I getting tonight?
You're getting bummed.
Oh, awesome.
Do you know what? People listening to this sober are going to find this so much less funny than I am.
Yep. I'm going to edit this, and I've got a cringe. I'm thinking, okay. So
We shouldn't record on a Sunday night. It's not a good idea.
I don't think you want anything to do with the night. I think it's to do with how much you drink.
To be fair, I had 3 points by the time we got here, so it's not an awful lot of rum left.
No, there's not. Johnny.
Do you know one of my highlights of the year? Rubbing his head. He's got a lovely head.
Was it smooth?
Really smooth. Really smooth.
Do you think he's an everyday shave man
It's
to
like
keep
a
it
baby's
smooth?
testicle.
It's like Right Said Fred, isn't it?
He's too sexy for his shirt. But yeah,
His bright coloured shirt.
that unicorn shirt is fucking brilliant. Oh yeah, it's me, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. This is an easy one for you, Tom. Do you want me to take it? You're all right.
No,
then?
no,
Yeah.
I got it, because you can read the long one from Mike Fallon next. Johnny saying positive, custos are now a thing. Negatives, custos are now a thing. I think that actually, in all seriousness, sums up custos quite well. There are a fuckload of people who have wanted to play custos for a long time. And kind of like Magnus, I think he said this with Magnus before, like everybody wants to play their Primarch. And to get your Primarch that fucking annihilates face, and people go, oh, fucking hell, running your Primarch. You know, people pissed and whinged when Gilliman came out, but no one's pissing and whinging about him now. It's a bit of a shitter, because you're like, well, yeah, but I want to play with my Primarch, because I want my Primarch. And to sort of be labelled, oh, you're a shitter, because and now there are people who genuinely wanted to play Custos for a long, long time, who will be now thinking, oh, I can't really do it, because I'll get accused.
It's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
You sit there, you flick through your Visions of Heresy book, and you've got these really old art prints and stuff, and you look at your... Look at
Custos in their pants.
Custodies. You look at all these things, and you think, "Oh, I want to play this. I want to get to this stage." And you think, I mentioned it earlier in the cast. 2 years ago, we were talking about a Spartan being OP, 2 Spartans at OP, and now it's like,
and now it's gone 3
nothing.
today.
And exactly, and it's moved on, hasn't it?
Yeah,
And,
it's shifted on. But
there is, unfortunately, there has been power creep, and
in
like any, it's the same with every system. There's been power creep in Heresy, and the book 7 was a real big jump in the power creep more than anything else.
But
So Mike fell-handed. So this is you thought this was his surname, didn't you, Tom? When he applied for the Justice
no,
Group,
I was being
you said,
fucking
"Is that
sensible.
really his name?" And I was like,
Because
no,
I got
that's
I
not his
had
name.
60, 70 people trying to get in the group, and I'm trying to fucking work out what's going on. And I get an email from Mike French.
Mike. No, well, he probably doesn't want his name.
I don't care,
the
it's on there
internet.
now because he's a bellend. Fake names
so
on
Mike,
Facebook.
Tom, really, you think fell-handed was your name?
I know, I checked.
You sent me a message saying, "Is that his
I
real
sent
surname?"
him a message and checked as well, just to make sure. I'd had a long couple of days with a lot of angry nerds.
So anyway, Mike, your best part, staying with 7th, fuck you, 8th edition, Wolves 1K and 1K Suns getting rules, building and painting a Stormbird, such a beast, and so easy to build. Well done, Forge World. Finding Heresy podcast. Worst, listening to all the moaning about 7th and 8th, fuck you, 8th edition. So yes, I think Mike's got does a lot of work behind the scenes. I don't know, he might even run the Heresy 30k forums. So yeah, I can understand. He sees an awful lot of the bitching on there. I agree with you, Mike. It's a shame that
In
it's
the
got to
end,
that stage.
these toy fucking soldiers grow up.
Yeah.
It's only a set of rules. Paul Summerall,
Go.
best bit. Getting his Speaker of the Dead completed, it's a nice thing to get a character model done. Worst, hitting a 6-month painting slump, nothing built, and nothing painted. Yeah, I get. I mean, I'm not in that slump, but I'm in a butterfly time where I'm not getting things finished. I said to you the other day, didn't I? I just want to get something finished.
Yeah.
I haven't finished anything for like 2 months. And
So
I've
you
been painting lots.
Pick a small project, get it done, and it kind of gives you the emphasis to get going again.
Oh, I tried to do them bases the other day. I did fucking 3 of them. Fucking finishing them. But yeah, you just Pick up a model. Get a model done.
Occasionally,
A
I'll
base
have
dome.
from a work point of view, but this is quite relatable. Occasionally, I'll have 2 things booked into a week, and I've got. It's up to me what order I choose.
Yeah.
And I might have done a really, really massive, huge project, and the next one's a massive, huge project. Or I've got one model, and I will think, well, actually, it's smart to pick that one model just to
Well, you
break it
timed
up.
that Fire
Be a
Raptor,
bit of a
didn't you?
palate cleanser. Yeah, exactly. I did the Fire Raptor, and it gives you a bit of a palate cleanser, and then you kind of gives you the break to move on to the next big thing. So that might
nice
or
to
may
see
not be
finished
applicable,
things, isn't it? Yeah.
Paul, but go for it if you can.
Get something finished, and it gives you that impetus to get more done. Then, you know.
Yeah, definitely. So, William Wallace.
That's you. You take that.
William Wallace.
Freedom.
I think he wants freedom. That's it. That was it. Move on to Matt. No. Best painting card. It's got to be, isn't it?
Yeah.
William Wallace is a world eater. Brilliant. Worst, not painting a lot else.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bummer in the painting funk, but get yourself out of it. Once you get the ball rolling, it does go again.
There you go. You've got.
Fuck me, it's Tonka.
You've got Tonka.
Oh, look at who's popped up then, Tonka. So best bits, meeting cool dudes off the internet to play toy soldiers with. Well, I think you could drop the toy soldiers bit, couldn't you, you know? Running about 3k militia at the last greetings for the Warp event. Yeah, that's pretty good fun. Playing a big militia army is a good giggle. And yesterday's game where a bloodthirster who possessed Sardu Layak went toe-to-toe with Angron and ate him. Yeah, it's good fun. I like a good story out of a game. Best for Heresy. Narrative-driven events, yeah, I mean, just pushing the narrative on is great. Bad for Heresy, Custodes. Far too easy to abuse and associated annihilation of Hobby Joy. Looking at you, winless. So Alex win more with his Custodes. It's a bummer sometimes. Yeah, I think...
Is this your more competitive end of the Peterborough scene having a pop?
Oh no, the whole Peterborough scene is a fucking bunch of massive whackers. They fucking ruin each other. They are smashed face up there. The only saving joy is they have a lot of beautifully painted armies up there. They do rip each other's faces off, but they do that. They put their hobby time in as well. Phil Hogarth.
Phil Hogarth. I think he's mates with it's Paul Moulder, isn't it? It's the
Yeah.
same Phil who was So another Dutch boy. So well, I don't think he's Dutch based on his name. But getting into 30 game, my mate Paul and Bram. Oh, I just pressed something and completely lost it. There we go. Technical error.
Fuck you.
Technical error.
Can't get them anymore, can you?
No, I've completely lost the message.
Do you want me to pick it up?
Oh, well, you can while I try and find
Fair
the
your
message.
shit
for
out.
you.
So, getting into 30k with Paul and Bram, building and painting 12,000 points worth of Iron Warriors. That's fair play in a year. That is good shit. Then the unfortunate loss Alan, but he did get a road trip to Warhammer World to play 30k, which is always good. Starting the Blood Angels Legion for 2018. That's always good. And getting some more events in at the Gurash Wars. Oh, and popping over and see Mr. Brains at the 30k channel. It's always good getting up to the 30k channel. And then we have our resident drunk, Chip. My worst heresy moment was turning up to Tarsus very drunk. He didn't turn up to Tarsus very drunk. He woke up at Tarsus very drunk and promptly spent the rest of the weekend very drunk. I've never seen a man look so ill cooking sausages.
He was pretty useless, wasn't he, for a few hours?
Fucking ruined. Until he went and had a 45-minute shit upstairs, he was pretty much useless.
That's what happens when you get to my age and you get a night away from the wife and children and you've got your own pub and you can drink
He went fucking bonkers.
and you don't have to go home because you can sleep there.
Him and Dale were absolutely let off the
Hilarious.
leash. Boys' weekend, and they suffered the whole weekend for one night.
I think they survived because so many of the attendees had gone out that night with them as well. They're all a bit rough in the morning, so it was a bit of a slow start to the day.
Saturday morning at Tarsus, there were a few really rough faces. I mean, Tom Carter, genuinely, I thought he might die at some points.
Yeah, I was a bit concerned for him.
He genuinely looked pretty ill.
I think as much as
He asked if he could play ZM so he could sit down for a round.
as much as Chip and Dale looked pretty bad. I think
Tom won.
Didn't Tom
better.
sit out around? He was definitely looked like
No.
he was pretty shaky.
He stuck it out. He got his games in, but he was not at his fiercest competitive edge for them.
So that's Tom Carter of the Tales of the Underhive podcast, by the
Yeah.
way. So if you want to go and listen to some real hungover
Necromunda
chat,
talk.
no, it's a good podcast. It's
Yeah.
very good. So where are we up
Rob?
to? Robbing. So Rob, who did he get best painted at
He did
Blood and
indeed,
Glory?
with them beautiful walls of his.
His knights,
That night is
gorgeous,
stunning.
really,
yeah.
really gorgeous. If you've followed there was a thread that Jodie started on our group about best painted thing.
I think
And
you've
Rob's
enjoyed
put-
painting the most. Yeah.
Yeah, Rob's put a picture of his knight in there. It's really
Yeah,
nice.
lovely.
So his best thing was Blood and Glory and how welcoming the Heresy community was as a whole. Worst, Alan's passing. So
Yeah. Heresy community, I've never met a community that... We're all dickheads. We all want to talk about our own stuff, and everyone will chat shit about their armies. So it is a really open and welcoming community. Oh, I've got to take the next one.
yeah,
Do you want to say his name?
Tristan Shapp.
Yeah, Tristan Shapp, that's fine. I've got that there. Tristan Shapp, sorry Tristan, I don't mean that in an offensive way, but I was going to butcher your name, and that's nothing to do with your name and more to do with
You
the
just
run.
said it there.
I know, because I copied what you said. Because I heard it. Best part, starting his 30k with Mr. Mulder and Phil Hogarth, so he's another one of the Dutch crew. Played his first game against Bram, which is good. Seeing 30k getting some support here in the Netherlands. Yeah, get that powerful Netherlands scene going. I want a European sort of Forge World heresy scene we can join once our country fucks it up and leaves the Euro. Can we join the European Heresy Union?
I'm not quite sure where you're going with this.
I
but
don't know.
yeah.
It was a vague point to start with, and it got fucking worse.
There's quite a lot of heresy in Europe in terms of the Swedish guys have got a massive scene there, but in terms of more,
We want a union of multiple heresy scenes.
we do. I still don't get what is now German. There's such a big war game
must
scene
be
in
a German.
Germany, but
Well, they don't really like war games because they got a bit carried away one year.
fucking hell. I think they do like their war games, and I'm not quite sure why we don't have a German heresy podcast.
Yeah. Because I don't understand German. Struggle with the fucking Swedish scene, Swedish podcast. Now they've insisted in releasing Swedish bloody podcasts in Swedish.
I don't think you're supposed to struggle through those ones. I think you're supposed to just
Not
skip.
listen.
Yeah, I think that's the idea.
I don't know. I try and see how many words in a sentence I understand.
Is it none?
None.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it sounds-
generally
yeah, I thought
average
it
of
might
none. Worst parts: not getting his Iron Hands done in time for the event in the Netherlands, the Gurash Wars. Well, yeah, you should feel shame. Go in the box and you feel shame. Finish goals 2018. Get his Iron Hands out on the table. So yeah, do that definitely. Look who's appeared next.
Primark most likely to have to work in the red light district in Amsterdam.
Fulgrim.
What do you think, Fulgrim?
Now Fulgrim would own the red.
No,
Light
but
District.
I like to think that they'd end up there because they don't want to be there. I think Fulgrim would want to be there.
He'd be such a little bitch as a
He'd hate it, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would, and that's why he'd be
But
there.
the self-hate would drive him there. Yeah,
Exactly.
you're probably right, Kurt.
He'd hate himself for being there, but could never leave.
Not saying all sex workers are driven by self-hate, of course.
No, just saying Kurz is. Can you imagine paying your €50, walking in, and there's a gaunt, pale man, way too big, going, "I saw you coming. Come here and bend over."
There was an article on BBC News the other day about a nursery school that's right in the middle of the red light district in Amsterdam, literally in the middle of the doors. So
I know you're moving house, but I can't fly out to Amsterdam to do this.
like literally girls to the right of me, girls to the left. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
The
It's
red light
it's
district.
yeah. This is nursery school. There's like pictures of these kind of nursery teachers leading these kids into this room in
Well,
between.
strippers have got children.
Yeah, interesting. Well, anyway, I've enjoyed Amsterdam every time I've been.
You haven't been since you were married, though.
I have, unfortunately.
Different kind of trip, then.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, very much so. Tom Carter. We just talked about
Yeah,
Tom.
Tom Carter
Yeah.
of Mars.
Apparently, he was sober enough to write a message. My first 2-day tournament and any event at Tarsus and hanging out with some really cool dudes. In negatives, my Saturday hangover. We might have touched on this. After drinking shots with Chip. It's Chip's fault, isn't it?
It's Chip's fault. Chip led everybody astray on Friday night. I thought I'll have a couple of beers on Friday night. I'll make sure everyone's in and settled, and we'll go wild Saturday night. Everybody got shit-faced Friday. So there's been questions about Tarsus. The next Tarsus is
Saturday night.
do you come Friday or Saturday? And I'm like, Saturday.
Saturday.
Because
Because we can't drink till Saturday night.
Yeah,
we got lots of work to do.
Yeah, I got lots of work to do. I'm going to get shit faced on Saturday.
Of course, if you don't want to see us, drink Friday night.
Yeah, so everyone will be out
if
Friday
you
night
think
then.
we're twats, if you think we're absolute cunts, then you drink on the Friday night.
Mr. Pretty, powerful Pretty from the Forgotten Legion, getting to meet Michael John and Freddie in person, and then road tripping up to them with the Adepticon. That did seem like a really cool trip.
It would be amazing
Stiff
thing
and
to
then
do.
Adepticon. That
If I wasn't married with children, then that might be something I'd like.
I might remove the wife and the child and go. Stiff 3 raising over $2,100 for Wounded Warrior. Yeah, I mean, mega. I mean, the Heresy scene has proven how much it can do for charity. And again, yeah, the Heresy podcast telephone raising well over the goal and beating last year. I mean, I'm not going to claim any kind of responsibility for any of that doing well because I think I was on the. At least I didn't get muted like Max did, so I was not too bad. But yeah, just being able to be a part of that and help the community. I mean, the
hopefully
Warhound
next
and the
year
Knights.
we can make it longer so that the right word, the
there were conversations around maybe it being 24 hours, but
well, even if we just make it 12, it means that the
So
European guys can do 6 till midnight, and then the American guys can do the night time because it's the same time for them. Kind of thing.
We didn't start till midnight, did we?
No,
so
we
I think a lot of the European viewers were asleep by So we're talking about maybe tweaking it a bit so we can get a bit more in. Were so many models, so few finished. Yeah, there's a heresy. There's a heresy statement.
Yep, wouldn't disagree with that one at all. So Alistair from Legion of Lies, best starting a podcast and meeting dudes looking for dudes. Worst being half a heresy for more than 8 hours.
Yeah, and there's a constant stream of penis jokes that's just erupted after, even bringing JP in. Oh, look who pops up next. Mr. Whittam himself.
Mr. Whittam 4 toilets.
Mr. 4 toilets himself. Best bit of the heresy? Heckling me at any and all opportunities. Yes, there was an inordinate amount of shit talking going on today and every day. And then the worst bit was me kicking the shit out of him in his army. And he just referred to me as a whack twat. In all seriousness, it was a great game today. And we gave him a fucking pasting. But you don't come into our house and treat us like shit. You come to the 500 Worlds with your silly fucking wolf priests and wolves riding wolves. We'll show you where to go.
If you go into his house, you've got 4 choices of where to shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So JP of the Agent Darkness, best the pieces being put into place for the final act of the novels. Finally, Terror.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, as everyone's been talking about the same stuff, and JP's actually talked about something a bit different.
As JP always does, yeah.
Let's talk about the narrative, and he's
bring,
right.
Bring some intellectual into it.
I just finished listening to The Crimson King today.
Yeah,
and that's quite good. It was a little bit like Harry Potter. There was a lot of Horcruxes there, wasn't there?
Yeah.
But no, I enjoyed it.
It was very space wizardy, but it's what I kind of like that with the Thousand Suns.
I enjoyed it. I've been listening to a lot of non-heresy stuff and gotten through that. So listening to that today. I'm
already about. I've just done Ruinstorm, and that's nice because that definitely feels like the end of Imperium Secundus, and the story's now going forward. And I'm excited for Terror. I want 4 or 5, 6, 7 books on Terror. There's so much to explore on the thing that we all know. You know, before anything, there was the siege, the fight with the Emperor and Horus. It's what we want, you know. And and JP then follows up with the worst, the knowledge it's coming to an end.
Yeah, I'm not so
and
worried
I'm kind of
about
sad
that.
and happy.
I'm ready for it in some ways, but yeah.
I don't want it to end because I love what's going on, but if it never ends, we'll never get what we want.
Yeah, I think exactly. I prefer there to be. I think when I read the first trilogy, many moons ago, I would. If someone had told me at the time there's going to be 50+ books, I probably wouldn't have been.
You go, well, what the fuck are they
going
to write
about? I might not have
Yeah.
even read it. Do you know what I mean? I probably would have. I don't know. But it would have definitely. I wasn't gaming at the time, and I would have definitely thought, what?
50 books, yeah.
I'm glad there has been.
But you think about it.
I could
name
maybe
another
trim
book
3
series.
or 4 out that I wouldn't miss, but Other than that, it's
Name another book series that's
Well, you
got 50
can't.
books. It's a mad.
There are book series out there that have that many in it. I'm sure that are.
Maybe the Discworld stuff.
I don't know if it's even 50. I'm not an expert, but I think there's book
It's
series
a
out there
mega
with that
undertaking.
many, but there might not be the same almost continuous narrative
Yeah.
through it all. So yeah, it's a huge thing, and I'm looking forward to it coming to the end. Even though it makes me sad in some ways, I want to.
I'm
want to
hoping
read
that
them.
they can draw the narrative to a close and then go on to explore things. So you've got the scouring, you've got other bits that could be explored. I don't want them to drag it on forever until it's dead.
I'd
but I
rather
think-
it was a good ends with a bang. It was
Yeah.
a good finish.
Yeah.
And I'm comfortable
You know what
with
it's-
it being
you know what
becoming a setting that you can
Yeah.
kind of have other stuff in.
You know what the final line's going to be. I was there the day the Emperor slew Horus. Because it will
It could be.
full circle the whole
be.
series.
It could be without flanking vets.
Without flanking sniper vets. Fucking vets. God, I love my vets. You give... Now multi-bombing's back. They're even fucking worse. They multi-bombed the Spartan to death. It's fucking brilliant. People went, you're not charging my Terminators. Fuck off, I'm charging the Spartan. I got 10 Mauer bombs. Mr. Clouds, to wrap up it's on this end. So Mr. Clouds. So best Tarsis. Hands down the best event I've attended. Met so many great guys. It's always exciting after an event planning the next list. Kind of gives focus, so that too. Yeah, definitely. I come away from most events going, right, I want to change this, I want to change that, and I get on with it, and it gives me focus. And I won't sit here and say Tarsis is the best event in the world, and blah, 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 but I'm proud of what we achieved at Tarsis, considering how fucking incompetent we are most of the time. And then his worst, Angelus delays, but as a Dark Angels player, that's got to suck balls, and he's been waiting a long time for them.
He's a bit like Glenn. I imagine he's desperate
For a better
hoping
rule.
for a change in the victory points rule. Yeah.
Oh, fucking Glenn literally counting models I got on the table and trying to work out, I'm going to kill your chaplain, otherwise I'm losing D3 fucking victory points.
It'd be funny if it gets worse.
Yeah. Hit minus D6 now, just regardless. Oh, it's pumice paste. No, it's Sam. I just looked in the group.
A few seconds silence and just.
And Sam just looks like he's posted a fucking base that he's jizzed on. Yeah, let's close Facebook now because I'll just start looking at it. Cool. Let's fucking go to some music because, yeah. Bye.
Has this ever happened to you?
I'll never understand these painting techniques. I may as well just quit.
Well, not anymore with Little Legend Studios Painting Masterclass.
Hi, I'm Little Legend. We all struggle with those internet techniques. Airbrushing, wet blending, colour theory. Let me demystify these for you. Coming this January, 13th and 14th, Montreal, Quebec. 20th, 21st, Charlotte, North Carolina. I'll be teaching airbrush and colour theory classes. Bring your dreadnoughts, bring your rhinos. I'll guide you through those advanced weathering and finishing techniques to get the best from your miniatures.
With the Little Legends Masterclass system, we'll turn this
I am so frustrated by these advanced painting techniques.
into this. And here is your Crystal Brush Award.
Wow! Thanks, Little Legend.
For more information on the Little Legend Painting Masterclass, please contact littlelegendstudio@gmail.com or agentdarknesspodcast@gmail.com. If hard for heresy for more than 8 hours, contact a physician. Crystal Brush, not guaranteed.
I was going to think of something really amusing to start this segment with, and I can't, so I'm just going to say hello. This is like the bad old days when I was drinking at home, isn't it?
Well, you're not being there's not been as much acid reflux.
No, it's because I'm sorting my diet out. I'm not quite so fat anymore. It's a lot of rum. I drank about a quarter of a bottle of rum. It's got a big bottle of rum. That's right, good. Yeah, so as we said last time, we normally do a closeout now, but I can't be asked to read the notes.
It's still a closeout.
Yeah, it's still,
we're going to end.
This is
It's
the
gonna
last. Something's going to end tonight. It might be my
Forever.
marriage. The wife's going to pick me up.
It is 1:45 in the morning
I said it'd be home
on a
by
Sunday
midnight.
night, and
Yeah, I
you're
said it'd be
working
home by
tomorrow
midnight.
morning, and so's your wife.
Well, she's got to be in the office. I've got to be in the south of Bristol, but I didn't say what time I'd be in the south of Bristol.
Where's her office?
Only
Ah, not too far.
I didn't even say. I just made some noises and you went,
Yeah,
"Yeah, let's do it."
I guessed it wasn't
Vicious
as far
Blue.
as south of Bristol.
Yeah. I've got about an hour's drive tomorrow morning. I'm going to sleep for a bit. Yeah, so as always, check us out on Facebook. I was going to say Google Play and Stitcher, but that's what JP says, isn't it? Check us out on Facebook, Google Play, Stitcher, iTunes 24.
I can just rip that off his show if you want and put
No,
it in if it makes you.
We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter. I was going to say listen to us on SoundCloud, but you're listening to us. So if you're listening to us, you found us. So don't worry about that. You just twat your fucking microphone with a beer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so as always, guys, if you've got anything you want shouting out, events, stuff like that, I think the Spartan Expedition still got tickets. Conflict Norwich has still got tickets, so go and support those guys. There's Cy Davis and Cy Thorne's events.
Yep, that's right.
So go and check them out and support them. They are
You're
top
doing well.
dudes.
I'm quite impressed with that.
I'm doing this for fucking memory, man.
That's good.
That's good. I'm all right.
You do keep looking at your screen, though.
Oh, yeah, but literally, I've got a picture of a Thalax. I don't know what I'm fucking looking at. There's literally nothing on there.
It's just Hollow Willoughby.
Hollow Willoughby. I could open my Fire Wardens presentation and do a Fire Wardens presentation. Why have I opened that?
I don't know.
There you go.
It's just a bit weird, isn't it? Right?
Do you know the law that governs fire safety in this country? Regulatory Reform Fire Safety Order 2005.
But we sit in a shed with about 15 extension leads plugged into extension leads with lights everywhere. Let's not do fire assessments.
Law doesn't cover it. It's your house. Burn it to the ground. I don't give a fuck.
You can still die, though.
I'm close to the door. All right. To be fair, if I fall back out of this chair, I could be out in the garden. I'd be more worried about landing on the cat. Yeah, send us messages. We'll talk about it. I'll be more sober next time, so you get some good information out of me. Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna try and be serious for a minute.
Is this the emotional bit? Is it like
gonna
the emotional
cry.
Christmas bit? You're gonna cry.
I've got to take my high heels off and walk around. I can get Jesus sandals in town.
Is this where you say you love everyone and stuff?
No, I don't fucking like anybody. You're cunts to me. No, yeah, actually, I am going to say thank you for all the support this year. While me and Stu would probably sit and have these conversations anyway, there is quite a chunk of work that goes into recording them and putting them out. And knowing there's somebody on the other end listening to it makes it worth it. You know, we don't try to make money out of this. We're not in this to get anything other than just doing shit. So having the group, having people posting there, community talking, chatting, it's just nice to see. So we do appreciate it, and we appreciate you guys listening. If you can buy some more t-shirts, you tight cunts, we might be able to pay for our funding next year. Otherwise I'm going to have to give Chip another blowjob, and I don't enjoy that. He's rough. No, check out the spreadsheet still. There are some t-shirts on there. Every penny we earn goes back into paying for the show, paying for equipment, pumping it into events, you know, everything going. So we're not trying to sell loads of shit to make a load of money. We're just trying to make it so it doesn't cripple me and Stu to run this thing. Thank you all for your support. It's been a big help, and it does make going out and seeing you guys and makes it all worth it.
That's going to sound really good to the music I put to it as well.
Is it going to be really gay?
Really sort of slow, kind of emotional music. I'm sure if I Google emotional music to make people buy shit, I'm sure I'll find something.
Yeah.
Buy mugs. No, it's
Buy mugs, yeah. Why
People
didn't
used to
nobody want
buy
mugs?
mugs before,
We've sold loads of mugs. Nobody wants mugs anymore.
Disgraceful. Anyway, so Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and all that kind of shit. And
we'll see you again about mid-Jan.
Mid-Jan,
late. Well, the thing is, we record it, and then Stu just sits on his ass for a fucking week and doesn't edit it.
Yeah, we're recording this in August.
Yeah, take it easy, guys. We appreciate it. We're back mid-Jan, but come and hassle us on Facebook and Instagram and all those kind of places. So, yeah, take it easy, guys. See you soon.
The season's upon us, it's that time of year. Brandy and eggnog, there's plenty of cheer. There's lights on the trees and there's wreaths to be hung. There's mischief and mayhem and songs to be sung.